everyone, Old School Pokemon here, back again with the Pokeflips podcast, joined by my usual co-host, KetchumAllCollectibles Dan. And today, we don't have a special guest, it's just us two.
I know. How many episodes in a row is that? Like 4? Was that?
It had to have been 4 or 5 in a row that we had guests.
Yeah, so we had Earn Collects,
people are gonna start
Daisuke,
dropping out
Benji,
in droves since it's just us two.
Grimer. So it was Earn, Daisuke, Benji, PK, and Grimer. So 5 in a row. 5 guests in a row. After we got called out. We got called out by your employee. So we felt like we had to push back on Mr. Walrus and say, hey, we have friends. People will associate with us.
We have friends.
So yeah, it was 3 with no. We had Adrian. We had Treasure Cruise Trading. And then we had 3 episodes in a row with no guest, but we came back hot. We came back real hot with 5 straight guests on that marathon run. So we do have some people that will associate with us. Let their faces be shown on the same screen as us. But yeah, how's it going today? What's up?
It's going well. It's going well. Just keeping busy over here. Days go by so quickly. I can't believe it's already May. It feels like the year just started. It's going by so quickly. How about yourself?
All that, yeah. I feel exactly the same way. Every week, I kind of like. Obviously, there's always like the things you have to do, and it's just like the day's over, and it's like I didn't get anything done. Like I want to get my garage back in usable shape, which it's not been in a couple of years. And it's springtime and I've got to start mowing my lawn again. And I just broke my lawnmower. I had to take my dog to the vet. Like I actually had pneumonia this week too. So the first week that I cancel, I go back to my fortnightly solo lives. YouTube was not a fan of that. It got me pneumonia, I guess. That's my karma for peeling back from my Mr. Consistent weekly schedule. So yeah, it's been busy, good kind of busy, but also some bad kind of busy too. Unexpected urgent care trips and waiting at the pharmacy and things you don't like to have to do, and breaking the lawnmower. So but we're here. We're here. We made it. We are 5 minutes late. Sorry, everyone, for that. It was both of us. Nick hopped in a little bit late. We got chatting. 5 minutes just runs by. As always, we're going to be here for about the next 3 hours. If anyone has any questions, feel free to leave them. I'm sure we will be guided to all the latest, greatest, hottest topics. I've got a nice piece of the best set of all time behind me. Maybe we'll talk about how Glory of Team Rocket's going, the upcoming hype for Destined Rivals and such. But yeah, it's crazy times. How's Glory of Team Rocket been going for you?
It is not the greatest set of all time. It is by far the greatest set of all time. No, there's some good cards in it, obviously. Cool artworks, but I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of it. I don't like the Mewtwo SAR. I to be fair, I haven't seen the Mewtwo SAR in person yet. I've only seen the pictures online. I did just recently, the other night, pull the Moltres, which that card I really like that card. I think that's an awesome artwork right there. And then the Kangaskhan AR, I really like that one. But outside of those 2 cards, it's good. But I think Heatwave was a much better set than Team Rocket. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of the Team Rocket. It's going well. People are enjoying the set. I'm selling boxes. Selling a good bit of boxes, which is awesome. I haven't gotten any of my briefcases yet. I am going to be getting some of those in, so that'll be good. But yeah, no, I don't know. I don't think it lived up to the hype that everyone had for it. But then again, it did get hyped up to the moon. So maybe that's part of it. What do you think of it, Mr. Newest set is the best set of all time?
I mean, obviously, it's the best set of all time by far. I don't know how Pokemon does it, but every set is just a new bar is set, a new high watermark, and 130 sets in a row. They've never had successive sets that were worse than the prior. So that streak continues. But everything that you were saying though, it's like you're saying Glory of Team Rocket, it kind of misses here, there. Heat Wave, you talk about, hey, Destined Rivals, we're getting both. We're getting both in one, right?
Yes.
So we're getting gotta be best of both worlds. And I feel like in English too, we are on the heels or on the, I don't know if I'm saying that on the right side. We are on the verge of the best set of all time in Destined Rivals, which I'm very, very excited. So, yeah, I personally haven't opened any of it. This is the first product of Glory of Team Rocket that came to me. Most of it just goes to PK and Ponga. They do all the ripping. They do all the shipping. I am just the mastermind behind sourcing. So I haven't even
say you're just the bank.
I'm just the fisherman casting out a line, reeling in the product. I don't reel it into my boat though. I distribute it into my 2 independent contractors' boats. So their live wells are stocked very, very deeply.
Question on the Team Rocket case: Is it metal or is it plastic?
Plastic.
I knew it. I told you, Walrus.
It's like aluminum here, but this, it feels like plastic. Yeah, it's got to be plastic. It's like a textured plastic, and then it's got aluminum. I'm assuming. I don't know, but
it does look nice.
It smells weird. It smells really weird.
It smells weird. It doesn't have the new card smell.
No, it smells really, really weird. I don't know what that is that just fell out, but I just literally opened it earlier. Yeah, I don't know what this is. It's a little piece of like plastic or something. A divider maybe.
Interesting. I thought those were going to come with. I thought those were, for whatever reason, I thought those were going to come with 2 booster boxes. It's only the one though.
Yeah. No promos or anything. Yeah, I don't know. It I paid like shout out _retrospecs on Instagram. I think I paid $400 or whatever it was, maybe slightly over. And that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money for what it is. It's I'm sure they're mass producing those cases in China, probably. Maybe they're getting hit a little bit harder with the tariffs, but they've probably got $3 into the case, and then they've got 35 cents into the booster box of Pokemon cards like normal, and they're getting what's retail, $100 or 100 and I don't even know. Yeah, 15,000 yen or whatever it would be. I can't remember. Smells weird. Dan Ketchum 2025. They do smell weird. It's a potent weird smell.
It's a
$400 for a red R. That's going to be print to demand. Print to demand is not print to demand. When people say that, it's like that's like everyone who goes onto a Japanese website with a Japanese phone number, yada yada, all that stuff. Print to demand is not like, hey guys, now into eternity, everyone who wants one can just get one forever. We all sit in a circle saying kumbaya. The hobby's fixed. Scalpers be damned. That's not what it is. I assume Java knows that, but I saw some like big thumbnails, big titles of like, take that, scalpers. This thing's print to demand. You're screwed. Okay. Like, I don't believe that. I don't think that's going to be the case. I don't imagine that's going to go down to MSRP, but Team Rocket case, $400. What's your thought on like the whole print to demand thing? Do you think it's going to be $100? Scalpers are going to be damned. I'm going to never financially recover from this.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Plus, like you said, it's print to demand in Japan. It's not print to demand across the entire world. And it's tough to tell. Is Japanese product as popular in America as it is in Japan? Just because we have so many more people. I would imagine it's pretty close. So like print to demand, but it's only half the demand roughly. So there's still a lot more demand than there will be product. So it'll never drop down to we'll never be able to buy it here for MSRP. It'll never happen. Not a shot.
You're using very firm words. Never. You didn't say guaranteed, but you're. I'm more on board with that. I'm more on board with like. It's one thing when we're talking about English sets distributed in the United States. I do believe, and people will push back on it, but like I believe Destined Rivals will be available sub MSRP, widely available. But it's very different when you talk about Glory of Team Rocket. It's very different when you talk about a Japanese, international, all these import tariffs, all these different things. MSRP is like $30 on a regular Japanese set. I don't remember the exact yen conversion, 50 whatever thousand yen or 5,000 whatever yen converted into USD, but it's like 30 something bucks. I don't believe Glory of Team Rocket ever will be available under MSRP in the United States. I don't believe this Team Rocket case will ever be available under MSRP. That said, though, like MSRP is around $100, I believe. I paid 400. It could never be available under MSRP, and it could also drop 50% from what I paid, 50%, 60%, and still be above MSRP. So, like, by no means was this an investment. By no means was this. It was just like, hey, that's a cool thing, hype set. I'm going to buy one to have in the background. It's not really like a big brain speculative play. I don't have 100 of them. I literally ordered one to me and one to Ponga, one to PK, and then a bunch of boxes, and they're just going to sell them on stream. And I'm just going to have one that kicks around my office somewhere.
Yeah, no, it is cool. I can't wait to get mine and actually see what it looks like.
Did you buy a lot of them, or are you going to stream them? What do you?
No, I just got two. I'm gonna do stream one on the anniversary stream, and then gonna be doing a giveaway with one of them. So that'll be cool.
Oh, there we go.
Yep.
Nice. We got a couple questions and comments coming in that I will take. This one was so funny. I don't know if you watched or not, but I was on last night with TJ over on It Was Never a Phase Cards, and somebody that follows you, somebody that actually follows Pokeflips, TJ started to read it, and he thought the guy had asked, "What's wrong with the hobby?" But he asked, "Is Dan what's wrong?" Or Dan, he actually made a declarative statement. He didn't ask a question. He said, "Dan is what is wrong with the hobby." And then in the comments, like I asked him to elaborate, and he was like, "Oh, well, back on Pokeflips, you and Nick went back and forth, and Nick was like the good angel, and you were the evil devil and the bad person."
Just my halo.
Yeah, it was so funny though, because like genuinely he was, after the stream, he was apologetic. He's like, I didn't realize that person was calling you what was wrong with the hobby. They thought they were asking me what was wrong with the hobby. It was a funny interaction. It was like 5 minutes into the stream. But,
I love it. I love it.
BB clearly either was there or he saw. I think it got clipped and posted in maybe a different Discord or two. So yeah, appreciate you being here, BB. Hope you. It was a good conversation last night. I mean that part included. Obviously, the whole conversation we had, we've already hashed it out on a couple consecutive Pokeflips, I think. But what are we, 3 weeks out now? Is your Destined Rivals plan like fully set? Have you decided? Are you going to be MSRP? Have you decided how many you're going to do, what the number's going to be?
I do think it's going to happen. I think it's going to happen. We're just going to YOLO it. Dude, I'm not getting many boxes. I think I'm getting, what am I getting? Like 130. I set 4 cases plus 1 box back, so 25 boxes. So I'll have like 105 boxes, and we'll just do it at 160. And then all the packs, break all the ETBs down, all the other stuff for packs, and do packs closer to market. And
then the 200 boxes you said you'd backdoor to me at 85%.
Yeah, exactly.
Those are still coming,
exactly.
Right? I promise. We've Nick and I have not yet arranged those details, but I was only joking. But yeah, I'm gonna pull mine up because I feel like I always do share the actual number. So I got, through one distributor, I got 90 Journey Together, and then let me see Destined. So the one that I got 90 Journey Together, I'm only getting 66 Destined Rivals.
Is that Is that your main or your secondary?
That's my main. They're both
Ouch.
pretty similar, but a 26% drop in allocation on that distro, which was like surprising. It is what it is. You can't really do anything about it. And then my other one, let me see, because overall I want to say it's like, maybe I was saying a number that was incorrect. I got 86 through my other one, and from them I got how much Journey?
I thought you meant 86. What's it called? Destined Rivals. I was gonna say you got a ton.
So I have 86 plus 66. I have 86 plus 66 coming, 152 boxes. So not even 30 cases. I want to say I got like 38 cases or something of. I feel like I've been saying the wrong percentage now that I look at it closer. I feel like I've been saying that it's been like 20% lower than Surging Sparks. It's probably more like 30-something% lower.
That would make sense because your numbers last week were so confusing.
Yeah, I want to say I got like 39 cases of Surging. At some point, I need to write this down somewhere. I need to pay closer attention.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not good. It's pretty dark.
It's so bad. I hate it.
Yeah. It's pretty dark. But I'm not going to be selling them for 160. I'm going to be selling them for whatever market is at the time.
What are they pre-ordering for right now? Are they still like 300?
I see 300 on eBay. I also see 270 on eBay. I pre-ordered a couple as like an experiment because one issue that I deal with, actually I see P Football P is, if you buy 4 or more, they're $256 a box. I just paid $270 a box on Hills because I struggle at new set releases. PK and Ponga are off-site. They're not here with me. So I struggle a little bit sometimes getting them the product in time. Mm-hmm. So I have experimented before with like buying from the open market and just having them shipped right to them, because there's times historically where I haven't gotten my product until release day. So it's like if I get it on release day and I turn it around, PK and Ponga are getting it Tuesday after release. Sometimes I get it on Tuesday or Wednesday of release week. And if I get it on Tuesday and it's early enough in the day, I can go and I can get it to the post. Like I can turn it around same day, and PK and Ponga will almost definitely have it. But it's the logistics around set releases are kind of a pain in the butt with the way that I have streaming set up. So I if and when the price is lower in the coming weeks, I'll probably just order like, here's 2 more cases to PK, here's another case to Ponga. I'll probably just like dollar cost average down as I see lower pre-orders if and when they come. Maybe I'll end up buying way too much of it. It's crazy though what it's doing right now.
What do you think it's going to come out at? What was Journey Together? What did Journey Together come out at?
Like 250?
250?
I think it was towards like, I want to say it was like 250, wasn't it?
At release? That seems high.
I'll pull up TCG Player.
Because Destin is 270 on TCG Player right now. I'm gonna say it comes out at I'm gonna say 230.
Yeah, Journey. Wasn't there? The release date was like March 30th, wasn't it? Yeah. March 30th or March 31st. So it was a couple days before. It was 250, 270. Actual release day like 240, right around 240. Looks like.
And what did it start out at? What was the peak? 270.
The peak was 275.
I'm gonna say 230. I'm gonna say it comes out at 230. That's my wild guess.
Ooh, I can't spell. Here we go.
Jesus.
Here we go. So here's Destined Rivals. 408 down to 270, up to 300, back to 270. I get destroyed on what I just ordered on Hills Wholesale. Honestly, I should get destroyed on what I just ordered on Hills Wholesale Gaming. It like 270 for a main English set out of the gate is absolutely bonkers. The market's lost their mind. I'm a part of the market. I literally just spent thousands of dollars getting 2 cases sent each to my 2 streamers. It's so It's so dumb, in my opinion. Like, I in my live stream, I've had people asking, like, should I invest in this set at this price? I never tell people what to do, but I think it's certifiably insane to buy a main set release for investment at double MSRP. It's just absolutely bonkers.
But then, yes, I agree. But then on the flip side, why? Because you're setting back at least a few cases from your initial allocation.
4 of them. Yep.
So why are we setting back cases, but then telling people not to buy cases?
See, I'm not telling people not to buy cases. I'm telling them I think it's insane to, but I don't tell people, like, you might make money. Like you might buy, this could be $400 by the fall. It shouldn't be. I don't think it will be, but it could be. Me doing the whole 4 cases set back, that's like an experiment. I've been in the hobby for 11 years, and I've always said, like, hey, I'm going to hold these for 2, 5, 10 years. The same thing everyone does. People say, oh, I'm going to set them back for 5 years. And I always sold them all way sooner because, like, the prices went crazy. So I started an experiment last May on YouTube, and I'm going to live by my word there. Every fiber of my being does not want to put 4 cases onto the pallet because I think it's stupid as hell. And I think it's going to be able to be added to the pallet for significantly cheaper. But I'm going to put 4 on the pallet. And if and when it gets a lot cheaper, if and when I get a big restock, I'll put more on it. If and when the market price goes 120, 130, like Evolving Skies was after one of the reprint waves, I might add another 4, 8, 10, 12 cases. But if it always stays crazy, 4 will be all it ever is.
See, I'm not convinced we'll see these massive reprints. So I'm doing it because I'm thinking this might be the only time I get a decent bit of booster boxes through distro. I might not get a 5, 10 cases through distro again. Because we're getting to the point where they have so much that they could reprint. We're not going to see everything. Even if we look at just from Surging Sparks to current, I don't think we're going to see it in terms of booster boxes. Going
back to what I said, though, there's only one set. There's only one set they have to reprint. Surging Sparks was there. Going back to last PokeFlips episode, I said every set has been widely available under MSRP. Surging Sparks was. People forget it was almost a $300 box. I think it's trickling down to like $250 now or something. But people forget Surging Sparks came out at like 110, 120. So if you wanted Surging Sparks and you were around in December, you had your chance to get it sub MSRP, like healthily sub MSRP. It was like 110 or 120, not for very long.
I don't think it was that low. Because I remember I was selling it for like 130, and I want to say it was like 140.
Why weren't you doing MSRP? I thought you sell for MSRP.
Not when stuff is below MSRP.
you inconsistent scalper. Look at this. 117 in October, 120. When did it come out?
It was November.
So maybe that is a little bit before release. Maybe it was MSRP by the time it fully released. But there were pre-orders available within weeks of it for 110, 120 range. I guess I might be remembering incorrectly then. I thought that was when it was actually out, but it looks like that was a couple weeks before release. I remember Hills had it for sub 120. I remember P Football Pete had it for sub 120. I would still deem that as like widely available. I guess technically maybe it was, if it was only after release, maybe it would still have to get printed a little bit more to be widely available, like within its release window. Let's see. Google says November 8th, 2024. On November 8th, it shows 161 on November 4th.
That's
so
above
it was
MSRP. Like, you're wrong.
I think MSRP is like 166, isn't it? 166 or 164?
I think it's 161. It's like 161 and some change.
Hold on, this is like a photo finish. I need to find this because this is so it's 161.64. Here we go. I gotta pull it up. So it's 161.64, and On November 4th, it was $161.60, 4 cents under MSRP. Photo finish, it was just under. It was just under MSRP. So that's actually hilarious. But I'm open to being wrong. I'm not gonna like die on this hill, but I truly believe I think Pokemon will get the first 2 sets ever in a row that were not widely available under MSRP. I believe they'll get them sorted out. I believe Journey Together, especially Journey Together. But I believe even Destined Rivals, I believe even Prismatic Evolutions will be widely available.
MSRP?
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I'm not gonna die on the hill, but I truly believe that. 151, Crown Zenith, Evolving Skies, every set has eventually been available widely for a decent amount of time. Evolutions. Remember when Evolutions came out? And I don't remember exactly. My memory's not amazing.
That well, actually,
but it was fairly hype. It was fairly hype,
yeah.
And I think the prices were high. Not 300 out of the gate. That's never been a thing. But it was hype. It was hard to find, and then it was like, you guys want Evolutions? Here's Evolutions for 5 years. I truly think Pokemon has like a mission to get everything widely available under MSRP for some amount of time, and I could be wrong. Experience there says I'm dreaming, but I have a dream. I have a dream that one day Destined Rivals will be available under MSRP. Maybe not though. Maybe not.
Journey Together, I'll give you, because I think even a small reprinted Journey Together could plummet that set. I don't know how your Journey Together sales are going, but mine are mediocre. It started out really, really good the first few weeks after release, and then the first few weeks were really, really good. Now it's really slow. I might sell, I don't even know, maybe 100 packs a week. Selling a lot of Prismatic still. People love that set. But yeah, Journey Together was kind of a flop after the initial hype.
Yeah, we sold 117 packs last week. Prismatic, we sold 480. 151's picking up a little bit again. Crown Zenith's coming back. Like, there's so much wide variance in how much I sell though. But it's wild. I fell into it before. I bought into there will never be sub $100 booster boxes again, and I'm not going back to that crowd ever. I firmly believe that within the next 6 to 24 months, we will not only have one box available under 100. I'm not saying every box forever will go under 100 again, but like, if you look at the entire history of Pokemon, 98% of sets, like maybe there's a couple sets, I'm not talking available under MSRP. I'm talking available under 100. Almost every single one, like forever. 2014 to 2020, every single set, every single time was widely available under 100. There might have been like Evolutions when it came out, maybe it was 120, 150. Like, some of the things that go on in broader Pokemon YouTube market, saying that boxes, like some people are saying, let alone under 100, some people are saying boxes will never be under MSRP again. Like that to me is just, people are losing their minds. People are losing their minds. This has only been happening for 6 months. This is not going to be forever. I promise. Consumers are very fickle.
Yeah, it will die out eventually, but I do agree with you that it'll die out eventually, but I'm not convinced they're going to be able to correct the issue with Surging Sparks, Prismatic, Journey, Destined Rivals, and however far we go.
Surging, they don't need to. Surging, they don't need to.
They just looked at it. They
4 cents. Nope. 4 cents. Scoreboard. Look at the scoreboard.
Surging to current is what they need.
4 cents.
Speaking of Prismatic, we did just recently see an ETB reprint.
How many did you get?
I got
like 60 something.
You got 60?
Between both.
I got a whopping 5.
Yikes. I got 40 at one and 24 at the other. And it's funny because, like, maybe I'll get in trouble here because there's different narratives that go around. And what did your distro charge you?
Maybe 100. No, it wasn't 100. I forget. I couldn't tell you. I can look it up.
I would say look it up, because I was hearing that, oh, all of them are 90 or 100 or this or that. I got 24 from one distro at 40 a piece. And then I got 40 from another at 60 a piece. So I paid way less than what a lot of people were saying they were getting.
Yeah, my
but
5
maybe they were the ones.
40.
How much did you pay?
40 a piece on my 5.
So yeah, I heard several people talking, and I heard people only say 80 to $100 a box. Maybe the much larger accounts that were getting hundreds of them, maybe they tax them harder. Maybe they tax them between 80 and 100. I don't really know. But all I can do is I can share. All I can do is share what my known actual information is, and I didn't have to pay. I paid 40 each for 24, and I paid 60 each for 40. So yeah, that's what I got personally.
Well, you get way better than me.
That's what I get for they like that I'm selling at market price, not trying to undercut all the,
that's what it is. That's what it is.
They must have watched the last episode of Poke Flips. But yeah, it was sizable. Like it was a lot better, at least for me. 6 cases of VTBs, it doesn't do much. Like it's 540 packs. We just sold that last week. So my whole reprint's already gone. But I actually see it's so frustrating. I've had 2 distributors for over 10 years now. I've spent a lot of money with both of them. I still get all my news from YouTube. I'm hearing about these surging reprints. I haven't heard anything from my distro.
Yeah.
Did you hear anything from yours or no?
Nope. I hate it. I hate it. One of them will do a little bit better than the other. The first one, the one that I made my secondary, I absolutely hate them. The one that I have is my regular one. I get some news because I can actually talk to someone, but it's not frequent, and half the time I hear it, like you said, on Instagram, YouTube, wherever, before anywhere else.
I always hear it on YouTube, like way before. I'm talking like weeks before. I literally just got. I still the one distro that sold me 40 at 60 a piece. I don't physically have them yet. Like I just heard about them like Monday, and then I'm getting them. I think they're delivering today. So it's crazy. It's crazy to me how late I am getting all the information, but it is what it is, I guess. It's you can't really like argue about it. You can't really like complain because they'll just pull your allocations away. They're like, okay, go away.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's this weird time that we're in, that this time will pass. I promise. I don't know when, but like 6 months, 12 months, 24 months, 2 years is a long time. Think where we were 2 years ago. Forget 2 years ago. Think where we were a year ago. 2 years ago, 151 was widely available on Costco shelves. 1 year ago, you had every SV1 through SV5 set was widely available for under $100 a piece.
Yeah.
Like people are just losing sight of any semblance of sanity, which it will pass. I promise. That's all I can keep saying.
It will eventually. Until then, just gotta get through it.
Is this Edugantor says, will the reprints be in my stores, or will I have to buy them from Old School Pokemon's eBay live streams? I think OSP is the shadowy ruler of all Pokemon TCG.
Yes. Yep. Come get your one booster box from OSP's eBay live.
Are you selling your 5 prismatic ETB restocks for
MSRP?
MSRP?
Absolutely not. No,
You
those will all get
scammer.
broken down.
I thought everything was MSRP. Come on. You
No,
got to
those
show
will
some
get broken down
consistency
into
over there.
weeks.
What a scammer.
uh,
Appreciate you, Java, hopping in, gifting 5 subs.
Shout out to Java for completing his 30 chats in 30 days too. That was I enjoyed those.
That
I
was
was a little
wild.
bummed today because I didn't have anything to listen to. I have been enjoying listening to all his chats though. Those have been really good.
Did you make it through all of them?
I did. I think I skipped one of them that I have to go back and watch, but I did watch pretty much all of them as they were well the next day after they came out.
I think there was 2 separate times that I built a backlog of like 6 episodes, but I plowed through them on 2X. And I got through all of them. I didn't watch like hardly any of them live, but I listened to most of them the next day, and then I had a couple of big chunks I had to push through. But yeah, that was awesome. 30 chats in 30 days. The final one, he just kind of did a wrap up with a Q&A from every guest that he had on. If anyone didn't watch that, go check out Java Akuma's channel because that was quite the month of content.
That was. We gotta get someone else to do it now.
Sebastian says, starting to hear from a lot of people that distributors are significantly raising the first wave of Destined. Are you hearing the same thing? I've not heard that. I would love for my distros to come back and say like, hey, you're getting more, but I've not yet heard that. That said, I usually hear things 2 weeks later than PokeTube hears them. So
yes, maybe in the next PokeFlips we'll find out we're getting 3 times what we originally thought.
Yeah. Yeah, but I haven't heard that. I'm very in Discord and Instagram and YouTube, and I haven't heard that from anybody yet. This is the first time I've heard of this.
Would be nice, but no, I haven't heard anything either.
BB says, assume you're someone who's been building a Pokemon business for at least a year. You've established some relationships with people and have a case of each SV set and 5K in cash. Seems like I must have missed the follow-up. Oh no.
I didn't see.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
You have no access to distro and currently just an eBay store. What path are you taking in this market over the next 6 to 12 months? Streaming, more flipping? ?
Ooh. So what do you have? Go back to the first one again.
Here's the first one.
So you've been in at least a year, established some relationships, and have a case of each Scarlet and Violet set and 5K in cash. Streaming or flipping? Ooh, that's a tough one. So I'm assuming you don't have a ton of like reputation or much of a seller track record on eBay. So I'm assuming you're probably not going to be able to get on eBay Live. Probably not going to be able to get on Fanatics Live. So you'd have to go to Whatnot, which Whatnot, there's so many other sellers on there. So I think honestly, I at that point I would just continue flipping. I guess I would use your 5K to buy singles. Hopefully some of those are gradable. Hopefully you can buy collections at a percentage of market and flip those, and then start dipping into your Scarlet and Violet cases and building up more inventory that way. But I think the eBay store route would be the way to go, because I don't think you're going to get on eBay or Fanatics, and I don't think you have enough to get started on Whatnot. I think if you started on Whatnot, you would easily sell all your packs, but I don't think you'd sell them at pricing that is attractive. So I think I would. He
also says, or something else doesn't have to be those options. He added.
Oh well, way to add it after I made my answer.
I just saw that come in as I was browsing to see if I missed any.
So now he's got illustrators and first base Charizards. He's been selling on eBay for years.
Yeah.
I'm sticking with my answer, though. I'm sticking with my answer.
Okay, so I like your answer overall. Me personally, let me scroll back. I unstarted it already before we finished it. So I truly think if you only have 5K in cash, I think having a case of each Scarlet Violet set that each independently is over $1,000 each, I think you're better off realizing those gains. And this is where a caveat comes. As long as you have the time, it feels like your capital might be holding you back. Maybe you don't have the time to, maybe you only have half an hour a week, whatever it may be. But if you have the time, sell it, take all those gains. I mean, if you sell SV1 through SV9, that's the cheapest cases are $1,200. The most expensive cases are $1,500-$1,600. So you're going to be talking like 15 grand. Now you went from 5K in cash to 20-25 grand in cash, and whatever you're going to do with it, I think you could do whatnot. I think you could get something going, but overall, I think going to shows local to you, depending on where you live, buying raw, grading, selling, buying it 70-80%, selling it 85-90% where you can. I think that's with a 5x liquidity pool. I think that's the answer, at least for me.
Mm-hmm.
He was giving examples, could have thrown in and etc. Dan would flex a Team Rocket case. He looks like an admin. Who says put it on red and double it? So I don't know if that's the 5K or the 20K, but yeah, you got Nick's attention now.
There we go. There we go.
You talk roulette, he perks up. BB said earlier, I missed it at the time. The guy who hated Rocket as a kid doesn't like the new Rocket set. Who would have guessed? I didn't even make the connection. I didn't even think about that, but good call, BB. Nick cannot be trusted. Fat Belly says Charizard EX Premium Collection on Sam's Club. Is it a buy and hold, buy and flip, or a skip and pass?
Skip. Next question.
That's the one with the massive. That's the one with the massive figure, right?
Yeah. No, you're getting 10 packs, and they're decent sets, so it's a decent product, but it's just so bulky. It's an awful product to break down. I think if you don't have one, you should get one because they're actually cool products. The statue itself looks really good. So like for a display piece, it's really cool. But like investing, holding, absolutely not. No way.
Well, Nick, maybe nobody's going to be holding because there's so much space there, and then you're going to be rewarded.
That's true.
No, honestly, I'm going to say like if there's margin, buy and flip. Otherwise, skip and pass. I would not buy and hold either. Way too much air. You're welcome, Earth. People should not be buying products like that in mass to invest in because it's just crazy. It's crazy how much not Pokemon cards are in that by volume.
Yeah, I will say I did hold all mine, so I am kind of an investor in these. I'm gonna be using those as my my daily deal. One of my daily deals for December, my December lives. So I think it's a cool product. I think people will be interested in it. But yeah, no, they're so big, so bulky, so hard to ship.
Experience Share says that they have received allocations from one distro so far, but got 10% more Destined Rivals than Journey Together.
Wild.
So yeah, I think that's the first time I've heard of anyone getting more, but that's like context always matters. Are you an 11-year-old account that's generally been increasing over the past 11 years? Are you a 3-year-old account that like has quadrupled in the past 3 years? It's always case by case. It always comes down to your distro, your individual sales representative. There's going to be wide variance in all of it.
That is true.
Question: will Destined Rivals be going to sub 200 in 6 months, or is Java cooked and he should just pay me now? So they have a bet. They have a bet out there, which I love to hear. Always love to hear people putting their money where their mouths are.
So who has over 200?
I think Greeny says they won't be under 200. Java says they will be under 200.
Java, you just lost yourself $200, sir.
I think the most likely thing is that Java will lose the bet, and then 8, 10, 12, maybe not till 24 months. It will be not only under 200, but under 160. That's my bet. So I would bet that Java loses the bet, but within 2 years, it does happen. But I could be wrong.
2 years is so long. That's such a long time frame.
It really is. Like people lose. I mean, most people in the Pokemon hobby, many people in the Pokemon hobby with the most confidence, with the most like crazy takes out there, a lot of them haven't been around for 2 years. Like you need to keep that in mind. A lot of them, a lot of people that are clamoring for scalper this and investing and holding 10 years that and blah, blah, blah. A lot of them haven't, like they weren't around when Twilight Masquerade came out. They weren't around, like let alone a couple years ago, and like 151 came out and whatever. It's context needs to be kept.
Yeah.
A lot of the same people and a lot of the similar type of people that were investing in Vivid Voltage at 200 5 years ago are investing in Destined and Journey at 200 plus today. Like some of probably the identical individuals, and some of them maybe different individuals, but very similar sentiment and mind around all this. So BB says, question, will we ever get membership badges that are not the generic colored star? I pay good money for this lame badge. Yeah, we have not been good about adding new emotes and adding. I think we capped out our emotes though, but probably don't hold your breath on it. To be honest,
don't hold your breath. I just got an email the other day. My gifted membership is about to expire, asking if I wanted to free up it.
You monster! I don't think am I a member? Do I have one? Let me.
I don't think you're always logged in on the PokeFlips account.
Oh wait, I think I do.
Oh, there you are.
I have a star next to me. Yeah, I guess I didn't realize that. I don't think I buy that. Do I? I hope not. Nick runs off with the $5 that we get every month. I don't even see my half of that. He's scamming me.
You run off with all the affiliate link money.
Yeah,
speaking of that, I gotta look and see what happened. I just got an $800 payout for affiliate link the other month. I don't know where that came from, but that was wild.
That's huge. Yeah, you can go in and you can see item by item what people are buying, which is always interesting because I haven't looked in a long time. I get a couple $100 a month, but 800, that's a big one.
Yeah, I was shocked. No, my normal is like it may be 100, 50 to 100. Which even that is crazy because I don't do anything. I don't do YouTube videos or anything like that. The only I have it on my old YouTube videos and then I have it on Instagram. But that's it. I'm not
you have a link tree probably with it?
Yeah.
You got some just faithful people who go in and get their clicks and
apparently
support old school Pokemon.
I like it.
This is one of our resident trolls who doesn't seem to have a very happy life, but I think it's a decent question. Do you think the majority of the hobby's poor health / diet choices will hurt them more in the long run than any bad Poke investing choice? I dropped last year like 25 pounds and then I got complacent. I had actually bounced back up to nearly 235, but the past few weeks I've gotten back under control. I'm at like 230. I want to get down to 220, but this individual, I just wanted to I wanted to put him on screen. I hope you find something in life that brings you happiness, that you can bring positivity towards. Like, I feel like I've timed him out a couple times. I feel like other mods have timed him out a couple times. To keep coming back and bringing negativity into a space, like, man, I wish you had happy things in life to bring. But
I don't get it. I don't get it.
it's
It
so
doesn't
sad
make
to
any sense. Do you not have
it's
anything better to do with your life than
it,
beyond?
it's really sad, honestly. It's really sad that like there's nothing productive or like positive that certain people can do than go in and be negative over and over. Yeah, hurt people like to hurt people. It's I genuinely and I know the kind of individual this person is, they're just gonna laugh. I feel bad for you. I genuinely feel bad for you that you keep coming back and you try to be like edgy, you try to be like it is what it is. But sorry, not a softball question. I'm sorry to you that you don't have anything better to do in your life than come here. But we're gonna continue on. But genuinely, like I know what you're doing with this question, but answering it seriously, like I am working on it and I know I need to, and I think people should generally try to like keep in mind their health. But you're obviously not trying to have any kind of a conversation in a constructive way. You're just trying to be an ass. So definitely mission accomplished, I guess. But continuing on.
Moving
Um,
on.
yeah.
Moving on.
What are you doing to grow your business? Says BB. Nick, what are you doing to grow your business these days? Any big things you're doing to grow?
No, staying the same. We do have some big things coming. We got some big things coming in the next couple of months. I'm very nervous / excited for it. I won't reveal it yet, but we do have some big things coming. It's gonna focus around eBay Live still. It is a really big change, but it's not like a drastic change. I'm not pivoting my business. So focusing on the lives, focusing on buying more singles, grading more cards. That's a never ending thing. Going to more card shows, vending more card shows. It's gonna be this first half of the year has been really good for me. Or not even first half, first quarter. But really, really good sales wise. Going into like the second half of the year is where I think things are going to really take off, and it's going to be a really exciting second half of the year. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm excited to hear what you might be doing to grow your business. So I will stay tuned to Pokey Flips.
Yes.
Because unfortunately you have a dormant YouTube channel that you probably won't be announcing anything on. But me personally, I just added a third streamer. You can't see the boxes now because they're buried behind the rocket case. But Metazoo every Saturday with Skya. So that is a little bit of a new thing that was added to the KetchumAllCollectibles streaming operation. I am on the fence. I'm like contemplating adding a third streamer. And I don't know if it makes sense. I don't know if or how or when that will happen. So it's on my mind. There's definitely like there's some big hours that we're missing. Right now we're live 7 nights a week, 5 days a week. Between both PK and Ponga, and it's primarily PK because he's full-time and Ponga's part-time. But Ponga is Thursday and Sunday night. PK is every other night. We're generally like 8 or 9 p.m. until the wee hours of the morning, depending on how sales are going. And PK is like 11 a.m. till 2, 3 p.m. So every day, 7 days a week, we are not streaming from 3 p.m. until 8 p.m. Like, those are not terrible hours as far as I understand. On top of that, we're not streaming at all aside from Metazoo now. Metazoo is starting to stream Saturdays at 12 Eastern until 5 or 6, whenever it goes till. But we're missing out on like 10 a.m. till 8 p.m. Saturday and Sunday. I feel like those are pretty big hours. And then we're also missing out on 3 p.m. till 8 p.m. every day. A third streamer that could do some of those hours, a third streamer that would be able to do those hours and then potentially backfill if Ponga's off for a week, PK's off for a week, whatever. That's where my mind goes, but it's like, it's pretty specific. It's pretty specific. I've been in talks with people for a while on potentially being that streamer number 3. It's just a matter of like, right now, the way that I'm doing it, and I'm happy with the way that I'm doing it with PK and Ponga, but to add a third streamer and to stock them the way that I'm stocking PK and Ponga, I don't think it's ever going to happen. So whoever comes on as streamer number 3, it's going to have to be a different way, because the amount of packs that they have, the amount of like dollars of inventory they have, it's just not something I want to do to stock a third streamer like PK and Ponga.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying there.
It's just a lot of inventory to have tied up, but
yeah.
Let's see. So yeah, that's where my mind is. I'm also doing like in the background, I'm not doing my own eBay anymore. I have that managed by Skya. He's also doing my TCG player. I've talked about it a couple times, like the whole CGC Fanatics thing. I'm ramping that up fairly hefty. So far, the early preliminary runs of it have gone well. I would like to be grading personally 500 cards a week soon through CGC. I'm 300 to 500 cards a week, I guess. I'm doing quite a bit right now. I guess that's 1,000 to 2,000 cards a month if you look at it a different way, a different duration. But I'm probably grading several hundred cards a month right now, and I'm probably going to step that up into over 1,000 cards a month in the coming weeks. So as long as that keeps going well, if that starts not going as well, it can be turned off very quickly. So that's another avenue that kind of like in the background is going on too. Julia says the narrative on YouTube right now seems to be the boom is over. What is the vibe of the market right now for you guys? What's your thoughts?
I wouldn't say it's over. It does feel like it's flattening out a little bit. Like a lot of what I see is through eBay Live, which is such a narrow focus, and it changes so, like, every day is different. One day it'll be really good, the next day it'll be slow. So it's constantly changing. But kind of like a trend that I've seen is it has been seeming to like level off and settle down a little bit. Packs are slowing down just a little bit. Cards aren't selling as crazily anymore. They're still doing well, but they're not selling as crazily anymore. And viewership in the lives has some nights it's still consistent, some nights it's lower. But I don't know if that's because of like anything to do with the boom, or if it's just because like we're getting into summer. People are gonna be starting to spend more time outside, doing stuff outside of Pokemon. So it could be a little bit of both.
Yeah, the boom is over. It gets clicks. All those things, all the rocket emojis, the green lines, the red lines, they get clicks. So what people are saying versus what people actually think, I don't know. I still get overall, like my read on what people feel is irrational exuberance, way too much optimism. It's like boxes will never go under 100 again. These sets will never be available under MSRP. I have people asking me in my live stream, should I invest in Destined Rivals at 300 plus sales tax? It's like, I feel like people have still lost their minds generally. So overall, I think it's, go to a card show. The boom's not over. I think we're still booming very, very hard. And I think it will calm down, but like how much it like pains me to say that $200 booster boxes would be calmed down. That's insane.
That's
like,
wild. That is a wild thought.
Hey guys, this market, we're gonna calm down. We're gonna crash into $150 English booster boxes. Like, what are we talking about? A year. I've been here 11 years. 6 months ago, this was not a thing. 6 months ago, Surging Sparks was pre-ordering for $100 a box, $110 a box, $120 a box. And that was a lot. $120 a box for a pre-order was a lot. Historically, Safari Zone, Hills Wholesale Gaming, P Football Pete, DA Card World, you could get every set everywhere for years at $99.99 on eBay, on elsewhere. And there was an exception. There was a multi-month exception, Shining Fates, Vivid Voltage, and people lost their minds. And then it all came back around. And people are losing their minds again. People are losing their minds again, just like they did during Vivid and Shining. It will come back around, I promise. So it's like the boom will end, the crash will happen, and then we will only have $140 English booster boxes. Like how amazing does that sound, Nick? Like, could you imagine? Like think of this. I don't believe it's going to happen, but picture this world that people are saying that we're going to come into, of like every set will be above $100 forever again.
I 110. I would love it. I would be so happy.
And anyone who says that, like I've pushed further on certain people. I've asked some people in the comments, and certain people say like, "Oh, we'll never go under 100 again." And Rudy's one of them. He's not only saying like, "Oh, it's not like it's going to be 105, 110." Rudy's literally saying every set's going to be 130, 140, 150. You might have one off. You might have a bad set that's 99.99. Rudy's at least giving room for one occasional set in a block or a couple sets, but he said you won't have consecutive sets doing it. I disagree. I think you will have in the next 2 years, you will have consecutive 2-3 plus sets in a row that are sub 99 shipped on eBay. I'm open to being wrong. I'll make more money than I think I will, I guess, if I'm wrong. But it could be a boom. Like in a boom, you could have $99.99 for a booster box. Like people think they're mutually exclusive. Like you could have a very healthy booming market where boxes are 140, 150, 110, 120. Maybe the bad set of the block is $99.99. That could still be a boom. Like what we're experiencing now is not a boom. It's a mania. It's irrational exuberance. Multiple sets in a row being over 200 at release is not just a boom. It is insanity, in my opinion, at least.
I don't know about a boom at $100 a box. You think?
I'm saying like that would be the down set. That would be the down set. But with some sets being 140, 150. Good sets, bad sets. Yeah, like the ones that have the Charizards would be the 150, and the ones that, the hit card's only a Terapagos or whatever. That one's going to be 100. Like, I think that could be a boom. And like, here's going to be something crazy too. For anyone who, like most people that think all these crazy things to me, they've only been here for a year or less. So this won't even apply. But like, I think relative to my 11 years in the hobby, 2022 and 2023 were boom years. A lot of people talk as if they were like, it was like a Pokemon recession or whatever. Like we've been booming since 2020. It's taken on very different forms. And in 2020, 21, it was very much WotC, and you had a little bit of modern going on with Vivid Voltage and all that. But we've not stopped booming. We had some calming of the boom in 2022, 2023. But in my mind, this is all like a continuous big boom cycle with many like big booms. 2021, what WotC did right now, the waifu boom, like all those things. It's all the same, like big boom, 5-year, multi-year boom, to me at least. Were we not booming in 2023? Do you think?
I don't know. Like, yes, if you compare it to like 2019, early 2020 to 2022, 2023, and any of the years past 2020.
And that's where our brains were, like Nick and I, our brains were programmed in pre-2020. Our brains were programmed. Mine was programmed from 2014 to 2019. Mm-hmm. Everything since 2020 has been a boom. Like 10x plus relative. Like insane. And like how people define boom is so variable, is what I'm trying to say.
I don't know though. Do we ever get back to maybe not ever, but do we in the couple of years, do we ever get back to a point where it's not a boom per se, and it's back to 2019, 2020, early 2020. I don't know. I think there's so many new people that are coming in, and the market is so different with live streaming. I don't know if we ever do get back to that point.
Yeah, I truly don't know either. It would be pretty dark. I think it would be pretty dark if we did. If we got back to like 2017, 2018 type as far as content being and some people think it's impossible. Oh, we could never do that with Instagram, with YouTube, with Fanatics, with eBay Live, with whatnot. I think we could. The world could live without Pokemon. The world could live without cardboard. I don't think it's going to happen. I'm not forecasting for it to happen. But like things could change to where it could just fall out of favor generally. The market could contract many, many percents, and it could be pretty dark. Like, I hope that doesn't happen. I'm not calling for it to happen. But the fact that some people think it couldn't happen, it's impossible, is where it gets scary. It just gets scary how ignorant people are of like there's some amount of risk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I do kind of agree with BB that it is the new normal, and we're not in a 5-year boom.
Yeah, I guess that's partially what I'm saying. Partially what I'm saying is like the new normal, the post 2020 normal is just like inherently a boom relative to the first several years that I was in the hobby. Mm-hmm. And will that ever change? Will that ever go away? I don't really know. But it's an interesting thought. It's all an interesting thought. And there's extremely high levels of confidence by tons of people that it's never going to go away and we're doing this forever. And it the biggest thing that scares me is like what English Modern is doing. It is not normal. It is not healthy. And I think Pokemon will resolve it. I think it will get resolved by a lot of people that are being a little bit crazy, getting a slap on the wrist for being so crazy. But we'll see.
It will be interesting. It will be interesting.
Oh, Java commented, a third Pokemon streamer, or did Sky get fired already? Sky did not get fired. When I say a third streamer, I mean a third Pokemon streamer. Sky is my one and only MetaZoo streamer. So I do technically have 3 streamers now, one being MetaZoo only, though. So Sky does eBay, TCG Player, and MetaZoo streaming, which is every Saturday. So how
have those been going? I saw the first one. First one seemed good. I caught a little bit of the second one. It definitely seemed slower.
Like I pumped the first one up pretty good. I talked about it more. Fanatics actually pinned it for a little bit. Fanatics gave us an hour pin, I think, to the top of the app. So the first one got a lot more support. It did a lot better. Second one was still, it made money. And honestly, like I told Sky this, I'm willing and ready to lose money. Same thing I told PK and Ponga when we started Pokemon. I'm willing and ready to lose money streaming MetaZoo for a month or two to try to get it going. Like a lot of businesses when they first start are not profitable. So if I have to lose a little bit of money with Pokemon, thankfully it took off really quickly. And I started streaming in October leading into Surging Sparks. Like I started streaming at like the perfect time. So I just got really, really fortunate with timing. But if I was losing money in Pokemon, I would have given them months to try to make it work. And we still lose money on our auctions. We still lose money on singles and slabs generally. And I let them keep running them. Basically, like our whole thing is fueled by packs. And it's going really well overall. But MetaZoo, one nice thing about MetaZoo, everything I got, I actually got a large enough allocation from Distro to, so like when I get allocated to my Destined Rivals, it evaporates in a week. And then I'm buying it from the open market. I'm buying it at 90% and selling it at 110%. I'm netting like single digit percentages. MetaZoo, I bought at wholesale. I bought it all in the 60s. We're streaming it at 100 to 120. That's like a 50% margin, 50% net margin, gross margin. Sorry, 50% gross margin. So even though the hourly GMV is way lower than Pokemon, even though like it's a lot slower, I actually on both of the first two, after figuring what I paid for the product, after paying Skya, I made money on the MetaZoo streams.
Awesome.
Did I make more money than I could have just selling the cases on eBay? No, but I think it's still worthwhile to try to get the ball rolling on that. So I'm gonna give that like months, as long as it doesn't start going horrifically. I'm gonna give that like months to try to bloom into something. And right now, like all he has is one set. My Pokemon guys, they have 25 sets and they have thousands of singles and hundreds of slabs, and he has one set. He has base set. So I think when the second set comes out, and well, now he's got double the offerings. He's like, I think over time I will be glad that I did it. But as of right now, like very early on, it's going well.
Good.
Yep. So are you ever? I know you've done a little bit. You've never done a only MetaZoo stream, right? Didn't you do both?
I have not done an only MetaZoo stream. I'll offer MetaZoo boxes when we get into like the Pokemon pack rips. Yeah. And when the set first came out, they were doing really, really good. And then I sold out of my initial portion. And then a few weeks later, I was able to get some more. And I'll sell a box every now and then, but it has definitely slowed down. But I think a big part of that is just because, like you said, it's not. I'm not pushing it as much as Pokemon, and it's MetaZoo in a Pokemon stream. I think you almost need to do like a dedicated MetaZoo stream for it to actually do better. So I would like it to do that at some point. Just do like a MetaZoo only stream at some point. But the thing is Pokemon is already proven, and it does so well already that it's tough to add another stream on top of that. Hopefully in a month or two it'll be able to happen. Yeah. But for now it'll just be kind of on the back burner a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll be interested. I'll be interested to hear. I know they have like decks of some kind coming out soon. Yeah, but I'll be interested when set 2 comes out, how the allocations go for that, how the entire launch goes. But overall, I've been happy. We actually did. I had Skya rip some amount of my allocation, so some of it's being streamed, some of it's being mass ripped for singles. Single sales are. It's so hard because like the baseline, my mind has been programmed to Pokemon. It feels really slow, but even adjusting for like, okay, it's MetaZoo, it's going to be a lot smaller. It feels like slow but reasonable. Okay. I'm looking at some of our individual sales. Like I know that's very vague, but like we sold a Piazza Bird hidden rare for $300 the other day. We sold we're trickling out like a lot of the reverse hollows, and mind you, we were weeks late to getting these things listed. We were weeks late. Normally you want to get things listed the release day. Yeah, like, we missed out on a lot of the really crazy launch sales, but we sold 2 hidden rare Mothmans for almost $500 a piece average. One was over 500, one was under 500. We sold the Sun Wukong hidden for $250. We sold a lot of alt arts, 10, 20, $50, depending on which alt art it was. Okay. So it feels good, but like I'm gonna give it like 2 months. Like right now, it's been 2 weeks worth of single sales. I'm gonna give it a couple months, and I'll do at some point. I'll do like a MetaZoo Saturday video, and I'll try to look back. I'll look back in my archives because like I sold UFO singles at launch, and I sold Seance singles at launch. I'll try to do some kind of a comparison and just give some kind of a vibe check on how it's going, because I generally don't know. I'm not the one hand packing the orders this time around, so I don't see it as immediately as I used to. Now
they're not good. Are they on TCG Player yet? They're not on TCG Player right now, are they?
No, and I don't know if it's coming. I don't know if it's coming anytime soon. I've heard mixed things. I heard a couple people say that like, oh yeah, they're going to be on it next week, and that was like 3 weeks ago. And then I heard some people say that like I talked to my rep and they said it's not in the plans anytime soon. And I
Huh.
I just don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird because like the old one's on it, but the new one's not on it. Maybe I think they did like a partner type launch thing for one of those Karomi bundles last time around, and I hear that TCG Player actually lost money on that. So maybe they're burned, and maybe they're proving a point by not taking it on initially. But if and when a second set comes, if and when it continues to do well, I'd imagine like it's all the same people, right? Like eBay has it. eBay will see the sales numbers. You think they'd say like, "Hey, subsidiary TCG Player that we own, like,
Yeah, exactly.
you guys are just giving up money. Like, pop it on there."
Yeah,
you would
for
think.
sure.
I don't know, but yeah, I think eventually it will go there, but as of right now, it's still not. Yeah, HiveMind was quick. I think a lot of the comping that Skya was doing was based off the active listings of HiveMind. So watch out, Mr. HiveMind. You've got some competition now. The account was my name, but it's not me doing it. It's Skya, I promise. So don't call me the undercutter. It's Skya. Blame him. Who said, would you ever just hire people to pack? It seems that takes a big amount of time for each streamer. So the way that I'm set up is I'm not doing the packing. They're the ones doing the packing. I've told PK, Panga, Skya even, if they want to have people help them, they can. The big thing that I've also communicated to them is like they're the streamers. So I've not really talked to them about like they can't really hire other streamers, right? It's my account, it's my branding. Like I would have to be the one if an additional streamer were to be hired. But as far as shipping, absolutely, they are independent contractors. They can get the job done however they see fit. If they wanted to hire streamers, that's an entirely reasonable way that they could scale if they wanted to. And Nick, you did hire a packer, right? I mean, you've got Mr. Walrus.
Yep. He does all the packing, so that's nice. That is nice. Yeah. It is that. Yeah, the packing takes up so much time. It's wild how much time packing takes.
Have you ever talked with PK about this, or no?
Packing? About packing? He's so full of bullshit. A half hour. No. Come on, PK. It's a half hour when you spend 2 hours in the stream prepping your orders.
I'm telling you, he showed me, because with Fanatics you have to do like you have to record your shipping just in case anything ever came up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much prep work's being done off camera, all that include, but like I've told him the numbers that he says for shipping, no streamer would believe it. I don't do it personally, so I don't know. But he packs quickly. I think it's a combination of things. I think he does pack very efficiently, very quickly. And then I think he's not accounting for certain hours off stream. But he's probably going to listen back to this eventually. He's probably not listening to it right now because I think he's actually streaming still. But PK, let us know in the comments how wrong Nick is. Now that you publicly called him out, maybe we'll get... I told PK he should make a video. He should make a video of like his process, maybe a 4x sped up one, put some funny music overlaying it or whatever.
There we go.
I think now that you publicly called him out, maybe that video will come. I've suggested to him before. I think it's like a low ceiling type video because how many people stream? How many people are gonna like watch a video on how to pack a stream? But I think it would shock people how quickly he does it. And Nick clearly is in full disbelief. So we'll see if we get any PK content because of that. Let us know, PK, down in the comments.
I will say you are a running joke between me and Walrus. I always compare how long it takes Walrus packing to how quickly it takes you to pack.
Oh, here we go. Now you're getting made fun of in the background. PK is gonna have he's not gonna stand for this. He's gonna be live tomorrow morning, probably.
PK, bring it out.
Sometime next week, he's gonna have a live stream. Suck it, Mr. Walrus. Suck it, Old School Pokemon. Me packing up 75 orders in 22 minutes or whatever the numbers are. I can't wait. But honestly, like, the only stream that I packed myself was the launch one, the mega one that we did, and it was a nightmare because like you've been where I am. I had stuff there on the floor, over here, like everything was everywhere. If you get a system, especially when you're doing pack rips, especially when you're doing singles and slabs, like you can end a stream with 300 orders that are all in a shoebox immediately by you. Like I've fulfilled 300 orders, 200 orders in a day on eBay after a long weekend, a big weekend of auctions or whatever. And it's like some are in the vault, some are in that shelf, that cabinet over there. I'm going everywhere to pick up the stuff. But when you stream, like it's all right there ready to go, which is a huge, huge benefit.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. That does help a lot, having everything in the same spot. We're
gonna get emergency live. That would be if we get an emergency live between PK's day stream and PK's night stream. That would be hilarious. Emergency live. These two assholes called me out, and I'm gonna prove them wrong right here, right now. It's going down. That would be hilarious. Walrus says he wants to be proved wrong, but come on, 30 minutes is ridiculous. PK, what you should do. You got to paywall this. This is the kind of thing that's paywall. Because like,
there we go.
If he has something that he's doing that like just everyone is missing, think about it. Like if you could save, if you could be 50% more efficient in your packaging due to some one simple trick, that would be worth how many thousands of dollars? PK has to sell it as like a $10,000 course. I'm going to make you an expert stream shipper, and it would be worth it. Like it would be worth you paying $10,000 if you could just cut your shipping time in half, right?
And I'll add one more thing. And PK, I'm sorry. I love you, PK. But it's these two things. You'll make more off of that course than you will your stupid affiliate links over there like Rattle. Oh, that irks me so much.
He's got someone running his Instagram now, I think.
I hate that. Rattle with the report this fake listing. Let me make my affiliate money. And PK with the PK, I love you, but don't be posting random cards.
Here lies the friendship of PK and Old School Pokemon 2020 to 2025. Rest in peace. I don't know when you guys became friends, but man, we started out with a call out on the shipping time, and he went right for the Instagram offload. Nick's gonna be getting pewed for sure in the next live stream. But yeah, his shipping times, I don't know, like some amount of it is probably being done on stream, but like that's one thing. Like when I've been to PKs, when I've been to Pongas, when I take the captain's chair, the items per minute, the items per hour, like it slows down for sure. I don't have, like, I don't even know. I don't know the right way to, but if you're like, if you're putting the card on screen for the next auction with your right hand while you're pulling the other one off with your left hand, and you've already clicked the button and the timer's already going, like there's a lot of micro efficiencies that can be done during a stream that will save you like tons of time and really increase, like there's so much optimization to be done to really increase your items per hour and your packaging time and all that. And I'm so not the expert for that. I've watched like we had Sam Master Set Games on before. He'll sudden death hundreds of slabs in an hour, but he has a place that everyone's going to. I think at the time that it's happening, he has the streamer. He has an assistant like off camera, I believe, or like a shipper. The stuff's being immediately handed to a shipper off the stream. Maybe the shipper's even grabbing it. Having a second person on hand for a big stream is a real big benefit for sure.
I'd be curious. That's something we should have asked him. Is there someone off camera? Because like I'll watch his night streams, and it's I forget I forget the guy's name, P8 or something like that.
Sam, you're talking.
Yeah, Sam. He's always interacting with chat. He's never once talking with someone off camera. So I do wonder how they operate that, because the cards are never sleeved either. So like, are they just? I don't know what he's doing, because like it doesn't seem like they have time to even put like a sticky note or something on the card, because he's literally taking one off, putting the next one on. I don't know how they do it.
There's gotta be someone right off screen, one of the shippers, I would think, but it would be cool. It's very, very niche content, and it's like I guess some amount of it is like potentially trade secrets, the kind of things that you wouldn't want to entirely share. But if you could see, like, not just the stream camera, if you could see a camera that's 15 feet back of the room and what's going on in the room, that would be really cool. That would be really cool to like, hey, PK, like, give us a 3-hour stream, you doing your thing. Like, we want to see, and I'm not actually asking him to do it. He could feel free to do it if he wanted to, but by no means does he have to. But like, here's a 3-hour stream, 12x speed, 100x speed, whatever. Just get through it. And then what actually goes into between the stream ending and then you shipping that in 30 minutes? Like what is actually being done on camera versus off camera versus during the stream? It's a cool thing, like, logistically. I know it's a meme. I used to be an engineer. Like, part of my job used to literally be go and watch the operators. And I used to have to watch the operators, and they had a task list that they had to do every time they charged the reactors. There were certain things they had to do, and they'd sign off, they'd initial, and they'd do their time. And there were certain operators that it was like, you can't physically do this that quickly. So I found that some operators would they'd do ABC, and then they'd fill out the timesheet afterwards, and they'd just guess the times. And like, certain things would be found when you started like looking into the process. Like, this used to be my job, and it's like, hey, when A shift is on, XYZ happens way slower, and when C shift is on, so I'd do like, I'd cross train between different shift leaders and between different shifts. And there'd be times that it's like, oh, hey, I never thought of doing it that way. The procedure says XYZ. I actually do it slightly differently. My job as the engineer, it all has to be done according to procedure. But I was open to like, let's change the procedure to reflect the most efficient way to do this. And like, it's actually interesting, like thinking about PK, Ponga, Nick, Walrus. Like, you guys are doing the same stuff every day, but you might be doing it so differently. I remember when we had Squeaks on. Remember when we were talking about like packing slips in eBay orders, and I was like the only fool still putting packing slips in eBay orders. And shout out to 40 years ago when we had ZNG Emporium on, and he learned that like resellers didn't have to pay sales tax on items intended for resale. It's interesting when you talk through like the little nuances of the things that you do every day. When you talk through them mechanically, how they work, when you show someone else how they work, things might pop up that just save you. Like, if you could save 5 seconds on every package you ship for the rest of your life, there are some people that ship 100 packages a day.
Yeah.
That's 10 minutes a day forever. That's an hour a week forever. That's massive. That's so valuable. So I think it's memes and stuff in good fun, and Nick got a little nasty there at the end, but like I think there's actually like potential good insight that people could pick up from other operations.
No, there definitely is. There definitely is. For sure. I was watching something. I forget what it was, and I forget what I learned. But it was actually useful.
One time I watched something and I learned something. I have no clue what it was. I have no idea what I learned.
It was some whatnot streamer. It was like sports cards. It wasn't Pokemon. It was like sports cards or something. And it was some way that he did something with shipping, like setting up or something.
Yeah, thanks, Nick.
I have no idea.
Thanks for the insight. You've saved us all so much time with your amazing insight there. Thank you.
Anytime. I wanted to mention this to you too. Did you watch Brandon Martin's latest video? You got some competition. I don't know. Pokenomics. You're gonna have to trademark it.
Oh, I feel like Yeah, I did hear him. I noticed him mention that a couple times. I actually I busted Alex chops. I texted him one day because Eli from Pokemart, I think he somebody in their chat said something, and it's Pokemart and Nostalgianomics. So somebody said like Pokenomics. And I got a laugh out of it. Obviously, Alex and Jake had a little bit of a history, whatever. But I saw Alex's face during the stream, and I could feel him thinking the same thing I was thinking. So I didn't listen to it live. Had I listened to it live, I would have texted him live or said something in chat. It would have been funny. But I texted him afterwards, and he's just like, "Yeah, I caught that, but I wasn't gonna say anything." Oh man.
Oh.
But yeah, that's so funny. One time, it was revolutionary. It changed my life.
Yeah, it changed my life.
Oh, what was it? Oh, I have no clue. I can't remember. That's hilarious. But yeah, the biggest thing I can think of is like packing slip. But there are other things. Like I used to be in charge of that. I used to be in charge of like, hey, Dan, you're the engineer. This is the process. We want you to take out every extra step. We want you to take out every extra like optimizing where the tools are, optimizing where everything is, so that like 5S, all that lean manufacturing, all those different theories. And my setup personally is very not 5S, lean, all those kinds of things. But people doing like streaming is so prone to benefiting from a Kaizen blitz, all those different engineering things that I'm like bringing back to the front of my mind right now in this conversation. I don't think he called. Did he call? Is he calling a program Pokenomics? I think he was just.
That's the name of it.
Is he? Maybe I missed the most recent.
It was uploaded yesterday.
He has a new channel now.
Yeah.
Is it the new channel?
It's the new channel. It's
Brendan
the
Martin
latest
Business.
video that was yesterday. It's like it's a streaming course for people who want to learn how to.
Don't start a Pokemon card business in 2025. Do this instead.
Yeah, that video.
I didn't watch that one yet.
Watch the first like 5 minutes at some point. He's got a new course and it's called Pokenomics.
That's interesting. I'll have to text Jake about that. I don't think we have it. Yeah, I see that. The first P of Pokenomics. That's interesting. While I'm thinking about it, I'm gonna send a screenshot right now to Jake. I don't think we got our copyrights and our trademarks in on that, but I guess we'll see.
Jake will always be the original Pokenomics to me.
Oh, that's funny. Let's see. So we did that one. Have eBay and Fanatics reps been receptive to your requests for changes, and what things, if any, are they dragging their feet on? So Nick, in over 2 years on eBay Live, how much of your stuff have they implemented? They finally got it so you can.
It's actually a decent bit. It's everything. Every little change takes forever.
You can block bidders now, right? You can block bidders. You can block bidders now. So they did get you that one.
Bidders now. You can block.
Took them a couple months. But...
yep, that was definitely one of my changes. But yeah, no, change is very, very slow. They move at a snail's pace, which we all know. But it does happen. And they are genuinely interested in hearing feedback, and they do want to know what kind of changes we want, what they can improve on. Whether or not all those changes happen is something else. They obviously don't listen to everything I say. I wish they would, but they don't. But yeah, no, they do want to hear that feedback, and they do implement some of those changes. It's just painfully slow processes. But yeah, I would say the biggest thing they've dragged their feet on in terms of like I know it's coming, but it's not here yet, is the automatic payment. It's coming, but it's not here yet. But hopefully that'll be rolling out some point this year. We'll see. But yeah, that's definitely the biggest one. That once we get that, it'll be definitely a more solid platform.
We've only been on Fanatics for 6 months now, which is crazy. And I think they've made a couple changes. I don't think they've made any drastic changes that we suggested specifically. There's definitely been a couple like, hey, these things would be really nice. We really need to get these. They still haven't come in. Hopefully they come eventually. One thing that's weird consistently on the back end is like when an order comes through, I know on eBay you would be able to like refresh your order page and you would see it there, but with Fanatics it sends a message in the chat that like user OldSkoolPokemon bought spot number 1 in Prismatic Evolution break. But if they use credit, if they're using their KetchumAllCollectibles $25 credit, or if they're using their Fanatics PSA credit, I think it shows it as like a $0 order. So the system just like doesn't recognize it. So I think the only way they can see the order happened is if they go into the actual break for Prismatic Evolutions and it's like, oh, hey, spot 3 was bought by OldSkoolPokemon. It wasn't broadcasted because you used credit. It's tough when you have like, we might have 25, 30 buy it now listings of all the different, like if you want 9 packs or 36 packs of these 12 different sets or whatever. So that's a pain in the butt. I'm looking at PK's stream right now. He's live right now. He went live at 11. He's done 6K in GMV, 6K in sales in the past 4 hours. PK, what are you ripping over there? Prismatic Evolutions, he sold $2,000 of. So a lot of Prismatic. What else is selling? Brilliant Stars 36 pack lot. He has a lot of listings up. Fusion Strike 151. A lot of buyers for Evolving Skies. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff selling right now. But yeah, overall, in case they're listening, but also I would say if they weren't listening, I'm happy with my reps at Fanatics. They seem to be receptive. We just haven't been there that long. So like no major change that we've requested has been implemented yet. I hope some of them make it. On the Collect side, I've been there a little bit longer. I've been with Collect for about a year now. And there's definitely been some things implemented that not directly what I requested, but I requested some feature because of some pain point. And then they didn't do that one, but they found like an interesting way to resolve the same issue, if that makes sense. It's like, I'm having X issue. I want you to fix it like this. Well, we didn't fix it like that exactly, but we fixed it in this different way. And yeah, so there's definitely been, with Fanatics more broadly, I've had good back and forth. A lot of people do get paid on Fridays. So yeah, people looking to rid themselves of those paychecks at times.
That is true. Yeah, Fridays and Saturdays are usually really good for me. Mondays, for whatever reason, Monday. What is your guys'? Do you keep track of that? What are your guys' best nights? I honestly think mine would go Saturday is the first, Friday is the second, and Monday is the third. But Friday and Monday could switch. Saturday is definitely by far the best night. Friday and Monday could flip-flop.
I'm going to ask ChatGPT right now to analyze and break down by day. It's not something I've looked at. Yeah, I just asked ChatGPT. I think it still has the data queued up. It doesn't. I'm gonna have to re-upload it, but I think it'll work in the background as I'm grabbing the next question. But
spreadsheet doesn't have a spreadsheet of his daily sales.
By vibes. Oh, I have a spreadsheet of like everything. I just don't have it broken out by day. Overall, I would say by vibes, I would say the best nights are Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Not overly surprising. After that, Monday through Thursday, is there a drastic difference? I wouldn't say so. Occasionally we'll just have a random Monday where we do 10 or 15 grand out of nowhere. And then the next week it'll be like 4 grand on the Monday and 12 grand on the Tuesday. Or like it really varies a lot. But maybe ChatGPT will show me something that I will be surprised by soon. We'll see. I'll let you guys know what the results are.
We'll be anxiously awaiting. Did you hear about this? Josh's question. Has anyone figured out how to buy Pokemon cards direct from TPPI and singles? Wait, what? I don't get that. What does that even mean?
Mystic said in a video, it was like 20 minutes into a 30-minute video, but he said that in Japan, stores can buy hit cards directly from distribution. So like think of Prismatic Evolution. We'll think of Terrestrial Festival. It's called in Japan. He said that basically you could buy the Umbreon chase card directly from Pokemon, which as far as I'm aware, I don't think that's a thing.
That makes no sense.
Yeah, he said it in a video. Josh is memeing on that. Such a wealth of knowledge, that guy. I saw some people memeing on that in ChatGPT just came up with numbers that are like definitely not true. Sometimes the robot really needs to get put in line. But there's no way, Dan. There's no way these are right.
Robot. Wait, what were you saying?
Yeah, I don't even want to share what these numbers are because they're definitely wrong. I don't know how it came up with this. Very bad robot. I'll have to look into that though. I'm gonna make a note to like do a video. I'm gonna do a video since I have a YouTube channel that I use. I'm gonna do sales by day of the week.
Can you also mention it to me because I don't watch your videos anymore?
What a monster! That'll be a fun video. So I'll bring that to you. The robot needs a little bit of a pep talk before he'll provide the accurate data on that. Both me and ChatGPT. But
no, I don't listen to your lives, but I will watch most of your weekly uploads.
As long as they're under 10 minutes, which is one every 25 videos.
I prefer your shorts.
The shorts are all just they're like the 3 sassiest segments out of my my hour live stream, my multi-hour live streams. So that robot, that's a different robot. Opus really likes when you get sassy. It likes to pull that into a clip for you. But here we go. Sebastian wants to know, does Hills Wholesale Gaming accept reseller certificates so you don't have to pay sales tax? I am a reseller. I do have sales tax exemption. I don't believe I ever put it on file with Hills, though. I think they just don't charge it, which I don't understand. It's talking about Brian Pokieni, sales tax nexus. They almost certainly would meet threshold for sales tax nexus in many, many states, but I don't think they charge it. Do you know?
Run their business. The way they run I would love to see a behind the scenes of Hills, because the way they run their business is so weird. Their website is from like the 90s, not charging sales tax. It's so wild.
They're operating
never
at a
been
massive level
tax either. I've ordered in both Massachusetts and Illinois, and never once got charged sales tax.
Yeah, it's I don't know how that happens because they're doing it at a high level. There's a lot of different operations that are similar, but
I wonder if maybe it's because like Pokieni uses Wix or Shopify. And so they'll tell him that he needs to do the sales tax, whatever, when he reaches that threshold. Maybe because they have like their own website, not supported by any other service.
That doesn't mean that they don't have the legal obligation to collect, though. That means that no one's telling them.
It's
but
like eBay. When eBay never said 1099s, I didn't have to do taxes.
Oh man, that's hilarious. Oh god, not financial advice, not tax advice. Please don't sue us.
I like Eric. Maybe Hills Wholesale's grandfathered into the tax laws from the 1940s.
Maybe. Yeah, that's about when the website was made. So they were they must have been the inventors of the internet. Why is Nick starting to sound more and more like King Pokemon? Oh man.
Oh.
Here we go. Steven Kasuma's got a couple good questions that I will get to. But yeah, let me this is a comment from like 30 minutes ago that I kind of missed, but I forget what it was even in reference to. But too many people operating in absolutes or only wanting to hear others speak in absolutes. I think that's with respect to like the boom. And when I was talking about the nuance of like the market could cool down a lot, but we could still be in a boom. That's like shades of gray and levels of nuance that most people don't care for. Most people want like, hey, YouTube man, tell me I'm gonna make money. Tell me I'm gonna be rich. That's all people want these days. Mostly, like the most popular content is just like, this is a good set. It's gonna make you a bunch of money. That's it. Which I guess for the memes, like I always say, next set, best set. But I don't say that investment wise. I don't tell everyone to put all their money in everything because it only goes up, because that's just scary. But yeah, nuance. I made a video recently called "The Problem with Influencers," and it spawned from a conversation that I had with a couple people in Fort Lauderdale. They asked me basically if I see myself as like an influencer. I don't like the term. I don't like the thought that I would influence people's actions or thoughts. I want to only influence people to think, not what to think. Like I absolutely, going back to Nick and I debating on what a set should be sold for at launch and why we do what we do and the fact that we have different things. I think that's good. I think it's good that like different people have different thoughts, and I fear that people listen to me or listen to Nick or listen to anybody and just blindly follow. Nobody should be blindly followed.
I think a lot of people do that, though.
Oh, the majority, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, please don't do that with me. Please don't do that with Nick, with Pokeflips. Please think for yourselves.
I don't think anyone in here would. I think it's maybe a little bit on your YouTube. I would say particularly like on Instagram, and then on like the live streaming. I think is where it's the biggest for sure. I think our podcast is just so far down the rabbit hole that only the real weirdos watch us.
Pokey Flippers, you guys are immune. You guys are too good. You guys are next level. I generally agree. Like I think there's some more mainstream investing type content. Like, and I'm literally not talking about anyone in particular. I occasionally go into incognito mode and I go to YouTube and I search Pokemon investing. Every few weeks I'll do it, and I'll watch a couple of videos of channels that I've never heard of. I couldn't tell you the name. They're a dime a dozen. I genuinely don't remember. And a lot of them are just like, this stuff's going to go up. They have no, like, I bought XYZ because this. It's just like, these things went up. They're going to continue to go up. Stonk, stonk. We're going to the moon, with no proof that they're actually doing any of it. And it's way outside of like the bubbles of any names that you would have even ever heard, is what I'm talking about. So there's a lot out there. It's crazy.
It really is. Yeah, it really is.
That whole video, like my meme is that Dan's always on the fence, but like the true answer is like on the fence in the gray area for most things. It's like, we don't know what's going to happen. Things could go up or could go down, or there's this % chance. And tomorrow, there's a 80% chance it's going to rain, and there's a 20% chance it's not going to rain. Only one's going to happen, right? I guess there's different severities of rain, but only one's going to happen. And once it happens, it's obvious. But people will just, oh, it's definitely going to pour tomorrow. And it's definitely going to pour tomorrow, and make sure you get your umbrellas and this and that. And for certain people, that'll be right. And for certain people, that'll be wrong. But who cares? I find myself at the end of like long rants and rambles, more like a wise bald man, ZNG Emporium, once said, who cares? Who cares? I miss the Never Punish podcast. Talking about Java last month. It's a shame, Mr. James, too high and mighty. He had to turn down Java to be a guest on the podcast that month. But it probably saved me the spot, because I probably would have been the one being bumped. If James had said yes, KetchumAllCollectibles probably wouldn't have been featured, because I was probably...
We could have got James instead of you?
I was probably the 29th choice.
We got robbed.
If this podcast is any indication, me being the 8,000th choice for this, I was probably Java's 29th choice. So had James said yes, I would have been bumped off the calendar. And but we did get Cam, though. We got Cam, and they were all fun ones. They were all fun ones, but I really like the Cam one too. I listened to that one while I was mowing my lawn, actually, and it made me think back. It made me think back to the black background, Never Punish, that little neon light that he had bought. But yeah, that was I enjoyed that. I did enjoy that. Eric drinks water. Sometimes people's questions make me directly name the name. So we were talking about that a few weeks ago. I forget if it was on PokeFlips or on my own channel, but I wasn't trying to snitch. Comment or question led me into it. So it happens sometimes. So this came up a while ago. I'm trying to get to where I bring these things in a nice flow. But UAP says you couldn't ship while you're streaming, because what if people buy multiple orders and combine shipping? That is one thing PK does. So I think PK is really good at like knowing who his regulars are, and depending on your size, it might be easy, it might be difficult. But I'm not speaking from experience because I'm not the streamer. But if you stream, he streams 5 nights and 5 days a week. He has regulars, so he might have a box pre-stream for buyer A, B, C, D, E. He might have 10 boxes set up. And do you count that? Like maybe he's not counting that 2 minutes that it takes pre-stream to set up his 8 regular buyers boxes. But he's told me before that like when XYZ comes along, he puts it right in the box, and he knows like every stream that guy's going to have 8 orders by the end. It's already in its box, close it up, boom, done. So things like that, little efficiencies that you don't see, they're done on stream, but they don't really slow it down if you're doing it right, if it's just like a passive thing. So I'm fighting for you, PK. I'm fighting for my independent contractor here. There are micro efficiencies like that it's a little bit of both. It's maybe PK is not counting the 2 minutes to set up those 8 boxes, but done the right way, instead of doing 10 minutes on the back end to pull out order 1, 17, 32, 41, yada, yada, yada. By the time the stream is done, his biggest buyers are all packed, fully ready to go. And then he pulls all the ones that are onesies, twosies as he goes. And that can make things a lot quicker. So I think it's a combination of things. I think it's a combination of he's very efficient and very fast. He's probably in the high 90s percentile of like how quickly people pack streams, but he's also probably like rounding down and not counting certain prep things that he's doing also. I think it's likely both. But yeah, that's my take on anything to add there. Is that something you do? Like when you do 100 item order, 100 item stream, does it always flow 1 to 100, or are there any regular buyers that you like? I know this guy's going to buy again. He has his own distinct pile or his own distinct box.
Well, now that Walrus is doing all the shipping, I shuffle all the numbers together to make it as complex as possible.
Oh, there you go. So you always it's a box with 1 to 100 because Walrus is doing it. So You
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
do any of those.
I'll do. It starts off at 1, goes to 100 or whatever the number is, and then for pack ripping, it's just putting them into a big pile. I think the biggest change that we could make is getting little bins with a shelf. I gotta redo my setup. I don't like this setup anymore. So one of these days that's gonna happen. But getting a little bin of shelves and having them labeled A through Z, and that way when someone has a pack order, can pack that and put it in the A bin, and then same thing with the next person. Because then when Walrus goes to pack everything, he won't have to. Because right now he has to take all the pack orders, put them in alphabetical order, and then pack all the orders. So if I can do like a pre-alphabetical order, it would definitely cut down on a little bit of time. So that's something that you could do during the stream that doesn't take any time, and it would definitely help save time on the back end for sure.
Yeah. So how much of it is like prep time? Again, I'm saying the same thing. How much of it is prep time, and how much of it is just like he's gone through and he's fully optimized to minimize the amount of additional movement? Like, shout out Daily Refinement, Tekken Sports, those guys who like have their setups, and he's told me before, like, and I generally have it now too, even though I don't pack many orders anymore. I don't have to move. Like, I'm at my computer. Immediately behind me are quad zeros and double zeros and my cardboard things. So like theoretically, if I did stream, if I ran a 50 item stream, everything could fit on my desk, and I could end the stream and I could pack and ship the entire stream without moving. The label printer's right here. The supplies are right behind me. The inventory would be right here. The tape, everything is here. And like, there'll be turning, there'll be minor. But when I used to do eBay, I used to get up and I used to go into another room and another room and into my garage to get certain packing supplies. And like, it was horrible. It was horribly inefficient. So I think there's a lot of things at work combined with a lot of factors, but I'm looking forward to the response video because I think it's coming. Someone clipped Dan saying "stonk stonk, we're going to the moon," but remove all context.
There we go.
I'm sure if I fed this through Opus, it would capture that, and it would be Pokemon investing to the moon. Sorry, I got lost. A lot of questions and comments coming in. Appreciate them.
I think you're just starring everything. There's no question. Hoot you starred.
I only speak in definite, absolutes, and guarantees. That was just a funny comment. That was just a funny comment that I wanted to highlight. UAP, can I hire Nick as my tax accountant? And does that mean Walrus will be my defense lawyer in court? I think that's when you said the point about eBay not sending a 1099 and you not claiming taxes on it. I think that's where that comment came from.
Yes, that is definitely where that came from.
Son of a Merc says, not many acknowledge the possibility of a year ago being a year from now. Most people that won't acknowledge the fact that what we were in a year ago, because like a lot of people say, hey guys, the market's changed. YouTube, Instagram, Deep Pocket Monster, should I open it or should I keep it sealed? Fanatics Live, eBay Live. These things are all new. We can't stop going to the moon. Like, we're headed to the moon and beyond. Well, 6 months ago, those things existed too. All those things that I just listed, all those things that people will list existed 6 months ago, 9 months ago, a year ago. And a lot of sets were available for under $100, under MSRP. So it's just scary. Most of the people saying the craziest things have not been here for a year. So they don't have the context. They don't know. Many people who are saying the most outlandish, crazy things, and some people don't like hearing that. Oh, Dan's he's poo-pooing on all the little guys, all the new guys, as if they have, I'm not saying they have nothing to contribute. I'm saying that like they should realize that they don't have the broader context of like what the normal periods of the market are like. Like a year ago could happen again. And the fact that so many people are saying with such confidence that a year ago, 9 months ago, can't and won't happen again, that is scary. That is so scary. All these things were a thing 9 months ago. And suddenly we can never have another sub $100 box again. Dan, you're insane for saying that. 9 months ago we did. What are you guys talking about? Like, am I the crazy one, or are you guys the crazy ones? That's where I'm coming from, right? It makes sense, right?
It does make sense with new sets. With new sets, yes.
Like when we talk about 10 years ago to today, I'm with you. I'm with you, fanatics, whatnot, eBay, all these things. All these things are new. All these things are different. Social media, blah, 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 blah. But when we're talking about 1 year ago, we're talking about practice. We're talking about 1 year ago. That world was not different. We're in that same world. We're just hyper manic right now, and we're going to calm down. We're going to calm down as a market. I promise there will be sub $100 boxes again. I promise.
Mm-hmm. No, I definitely do agree. I definitely do agree.
And like, I love Rudy. I love how bullish he is. I like my whole palette thing. It's kind of like a miniature, tiny version, 1/1000th of what Rudy's doing. But when he says that, like, new normal, 130, 140 every box, maybe one box here and there, sub 100, that's way too bullish for me. Like, I just can't see it. Maybe I don't believe enough. He would be ashamed of me in this moment. My moment of weakness.
Ashamed. No.
In my moment of weakness, not riding the bull.
We're gonna get back to a point where people don't like the modern sets coming out. It's gonna happen. We're gonna get to another Scarlet and Violet base, Obsidian Flames time frame where people are just hating on the new sets, and it's gonna happen.
Here's a good question. I think in the next 5 years, will online retailers for Pokemon be able to get distro accounts?
Yes, 100%.
What? See, you say 100%. I say yes, but I don't say 100%. I say 95%. I say 95%. We differ a little bit. What about, so 5 years? Yes. I wanted to make it like a toss up for you. What about 3 years?
3 years, I'll say yes to as well. But if you
won't say 100%,
if we say the 30th anniversary next year, I'm gonna say no.
When's the last time you could have got in as an online retailer? You certainly couldn't in 2020, 2021. Did new online retailers get in?
I got in. I was shocked. I got in
23 probably.
What was that?
Like 2023 probably? Maybe even 2024.
Well, I don't, because like Alex Nostalgianomics, he got in with a distributor. Does that count?
That was like a few months ago.
Yeah, but does that count? He's getting a box of each set.
I'm saying like probably a year ago, if you came in with hundreds of thousands of dollars ready to spend on SE1 through SE5, most places probably would have taken you, right?
I think so.
So I think within a year, people have gotten in. People are just so overreacting to like what is a short term. Right now, we're 6 months into it. It might last another 6 months. It might now last another year. But I agree. I'm kind of surprised because earlier you had said that you kind of agree that boxes won't go under 100 again. If boxes don't go on under 100, I don't think they'll take new online accounts. I think they'll only take new online accounts if and when boxes go under 100 for a prolonged period of time, several months. Because why would they otherwise? If they're going for over 100, online retailers are just going to buy them, hoard them, and they're going to go for 150 plus.
Yeah. I don't know. What are they going to be? Because like we're going to get to a point where there's a ton of supply out there, and box pricing is going to come down. Say it settles around 110. You're not making that much. So are you going to have all these current accounts being able to absorb that much supply? Or are they going to need to have new accounts? I think you can have both. I think you can have distributors accepting new accounts and boxes at like 110.
110 maybe, but like they're not going to do it when they're 130, 150, anything like that.
No.
But it's interesting because it's like if the boxes are above 120, everything will just get bought. Like there's enough confidence out there, there's enough liquidity out there that if if and when boxes are above 120. So it's like they're either going to be above 120 and they're all going to be gone. It's feast or famine. Or they're going to be available and all the overconfident people, it's like, hey, Dan, do you want 200 boxes of, like, if they came to me tomorrow and they said, hey, Dan, do you want 200 boxes of Surging? Obviously. Swipe the credit card, run it, ship them to me, boom. But then if after that they said, hey, Dan, do you want 200 Stellar? I'd say, yep, good to go. Me personally, 200 boxes. It's like, that's a lot of money. That's 20K. Send it. 20K, send it. 20K, send it. I could say yes for several days in a row. By the time you get to like 6th day, 7th day, 8th day, I'm running pretty thin. And that's like after already adjusting things around to like compensate for how much money I'm spending. A lot of people are going to start saying no on day 2 or day 3. And some people are, maybe they won't say no till day 20. But if and when like that comes, if and when the things turn, like they can turn pretty quickly. If and when they start staying in stock, like people don't believe it, people don't realize it, but consumer demand can be very fickle. And but it's Rocket and it's the 30th and it can't slow down and it can't pop. Okay, we'll see. Buy your $300 Destined. We'll see how that pans out. Maybe it'll be 500 in the fall. Maybe, like, I genuinely don't know. But there's paths where things cool down a fair bit and not even necessarily a crash. Like, I keep going back to, like, if in 6 months every box is 160, to me that's like if every box that was less than 2 years old was $160, people would call that like a crash. Like, oh my God, Stellar went from 200 to 160, down 20%. You tell me it's like, Dan, a set that's a year old is $160. I'm like, holy hell, the Pokemon market is so strong and healthy. This is good. But people would be panicking. People would be like, oh my God, Stellar's in stock on Pokemon Center again? Like, has the world ended? Like, people are so distorted. People's minds are so distorted based off this period right now, and it's scary. This is a good call. Can't have distributors accepting new accounts when they first need to feed the car dealerships, Ace Hardwares, and Dick's Sporting Goods. I heard something about the car dealership thing. I don't know. I don't know if that was real. I actually saw, doesn't the Pull Father do stuff with hotels? I don't know if he was memeing or not, but the Pull Father said something about getting an allocation. Did he do that through his hotel business, or did he do that? Did he do that through his Did he do that through his Pokemon side hustle? I don't know.
That is true. That is true.
I do remember seeing his comment earlier. No, it's not coming up, but I don't know. I think it's an interesting conversation. I just think there's a lot of insanity out there, and I'm part of the insanity too. Like I went and I ordered 2 cases each of Destined at $270 a box to PK and Ponga, so that I hopefully have them stocked for release. When will RuneScape and Magic collaborate? I don't know, but when they do, I am all in. I'm going max on that. I'm gonna that's when KetchumAllCollectibles will open an LGS to have access to Magic product. To go all in on RuneScape. Oh, and then I'll shut it down afterwards.
Shut it down.
I'll open an LGS just to get allocated to RuneScape Magic.
Did you get the SpongeBob secret layer?
I don't have access to Magic but I didn't buy it. Like,
you bought it on the secret layer website. It's not like an actual set. It's it's like a mini set, but you bought the set on secret layer.
Did you buy it?
It's not through distro. Yeah, I did. It's actually really good. I bought the holo and the non-holo version. I'm a fan. I like it.
I didn't buy it. No, I don't have, aside from my favorite release of all time, Magic 30th, because I'm an evil monster. It's up in the corner. You can't see it. But I have a couple boxes of Magic 30th. That's the only Magic. Well, then I have a little bit of Magic from that box break that I bought into, the beta box.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
I think my commons are right over here somewhere. Or they were. I don't know. Here's my MetaZoo Kickstarter stuff. I don't know where the Magic stuff went. So we did that one. Do you guys think we're past the hype of this mania? Google Trends shows the peak a month or so back, and now it's beginning to come down. I know me personally, at least my YouTube viewership, it peaked a few months ago. Part of me, like the winter's just slower. I don't have to mow my lawn. Mowing the lawn is a lot more of a time using task than snow blowing the driveway. So I'm going from every week solo live streams to just every other week now. Part of that is because I used to get 200 viewers most of the winter, 150, 200 viewers. Now I'm back to getting like 60, 80, 100, something like that. So I'm boom's over on my YouTube channel. I don't remember how much, what were we seeing for peaks on here? We were seeing 100, little over 100.
I think we got
right?
over 100. I think we got like 120 at some point. It was never anywhere close to your YouTube lives.
Nick's dragging me down. It definitely. Let me pull up Google Trends. Actually, I'll look at the Google Trends and.
This YouTube channel is dead. I don't think we've gained a single subscriber in years.
I saw our last 28 days was like 18 subs. It's actually interesting to look. Let me I'll pull up a couple. Pokemon investing, Pokemon cards. It's wow. Yeah, this is interesting. Let me present.
Do share.
I think there we go. So blue is Pokemon broadly. Red is Pokemon investing. Like it's a flat line at the bottom. You can't even see it. Relative to Pokemon, you encompass the video games. You encompass like everything. Pokemon cards is yellow. So let's get rid of that and just see Pokemon investing versus Pokemon cards. So Pokemon investing is blue now, way less than Pokemon cards. But let's see just Pokemon investing. What? Pokemon investing? How's that not? That's interesting. That's actually really interesting.
Eric
so am I.
Is shocked about Googling. I think there's a lot of people who go to Google for Pokemon investing. I could definitely see that being a thing. Because look at the investing channels that you have out there. Bunch of idiots as it is.
Oh, it's interesting.
I can definitely see that being a thing.
I actually got it to show. I clicked in here, and instead of my search term, Pokemon investing, I clicked on this topic, Pokemon investing. And then, so it spiked.
It had a 1-day spike.
that was on May 1st. Why is this such a short duration? Oh, past day. Was my whole thing past day? Oh, yeah. It still says it doesn't have enough. That's weird.
So strange. That is so strange.
That's really weird. What was my time thing for that though? Was it all? That wasn't just 1 day, was it?
No, you had multiple. I'm pretty sure you had multiple days in there.
But yeah, if I look at Pokemon cards over 5 years,
5 years,
it did peak higher. Well, I wanted to compare it to the past boom. So Pokemon cards peaked in February of 2021. Our peak in February of 2025 was higher than that of February 2021, which is really interesting. I'm assuming 151 release date was probably one of these spikes. I don't remember which exactly. That would have been 2022, right? That's going on 3 years, I believe. I think 151 would be right in here, I believe. August, September of 2022, if I remember correctly. So
would you say your boom was this year? Or not this year. In February? I think for me it would be March.
What boom? The
like top sales month, I guess, would be a better thing.
We did more in March than we did in February by a little bit, but we did do less in April than we did in either. But that was we did on a Monday in March to end the quarter. We did a 60K day, just out of nowhere. Like my reps texted me that afternoon, and they're like, "Hey, you want to do a big day today?" And I'm like, "Yep, let's do it."
So without that day,
was
would there
wild.
have been more in February, or about the same?
Without that day, it would have been. Let me not share my screen and show the entire back end of Fanatics. Without that day, March would have been March would have been the same as February if that was just a normal Monday. It would have been slightly higher, but like ever so slightly, because we wouldn't have done. We did 65K more in March than we did in February, and we did 65K on that day. So we wouldn't have done 65K, but we would have done something. So we would have beat it by a little bit.
Okay.
But then April was about the same. April was actually slightly down from February. So I mean down 2% from February. So we've been pretty flat. February, March, April, as far as our live stream sales.
April, I took so much time off. That's why my April's way lower than.
Oh, to be fair, we did take off Easter. Easter's always on a Sunday. Ponga didn't stream that day. PK didn't fill in that day. So February, even though it was a short month, we streamed every day that month. I guess February and April would be on par then, given that February's 28 days. April still had 29 with us taking off 1. I'd rather tell someone I left a shopping cart in the middle of a parking lot than admit I Googled Pokemon investing. Apparently no one does. I figured people would actually Google that.
No one in here is Googling Pokemon investing.
No one in here, but like
there's
people broadly. Be. Yeah.
Google's just wrong. That's what it is.
UAP's waiting for Magic GTA 6 Secret Lair. I'm not like a big video gamer, but I did see something on Reddit earlier that it got pushed till May of next year now.
I don't believe that at all. We've been hearing so many. It's coming out this day. The new trailer is coming out this day. It's getting pushed back. It's getting pushed forward. It's so annoying. Every time you look on Facebook, there's a new.
Are you gonna buy it? Are you gonna buy it when it comes out? You're a big GTA guy.
100% gonna buy it and take like a week off from streaming to play it. I am so excited. So excited. In reality, I'll buy it, play it for a half hour, and then never touch it again. But
yeah, I got Vice City back in the day, and I got San Andreas back in the day. Those are the only 2 I ever played.
Really? You never played 5?
I don't think I played 4 or 5.
Oh,
yeah, maybe I played
5
4.
Is so good.
Because wasn't it 3, then Vice City, then San Andreas, then 4, then 5? Like they were all distinctly different.
Yeah.
I definitely played Vice City and San Andreas. I might have played 4 too, but definitely not 5. Definitely not 5.
5 is my favorite one. That's the only one I've ever actually like beaten 100, like all the missions.
It's the newest one, so it's got to be the best one, right? Stephen Kassoon with a big one. Is there anything undervalued in the market right now?
No. It's so hard. Because like we have TCG players having their 13% store credit sale May 16th for anyone who didn't know. And so
I think someone asked about that earlier and I forgot to put it up. Sorry.
I did not even notice that. But I've been doing every month I'm trying to do between 1,000 and 2,000. Just like singles. I've started getting into graded cards. Just like setting back cards that I personally like that I think do good in the live streams. And eventually, a few years from now, I'll have like a decent backlog of stuff that I can grab the oldest box, and hopefully by then the cards will be worth more. I'll have decent inventory to run the live streams and just be able to kind of rinse and repeat that cycle. And so the past couple, like this year, basically, I've added a little bit into my boxes, but it hasn't been much, just because I don't know what to buy right now. everything is so expensive.
Mhm.
I did this past weekend. I did start buying the full arts from 151, or the ultra rares, I should say. I think those are starting to get cheap. Like you're seeing Blastoise, and Blastoise is like $15. Venusaur is like $10. And then all the other ones are between $5 and $10. So I finally started buying those because I think those are decently cheap. But yeah, so aside from that, it's been a while since I've bought singles to just hold on to.
Yeah, I don't really spec on singles very much. I generally agree. There's not much undervalued in the market right now. That said, there are definitely things that are going to double in the next 6 months. There's things that are going to double in the next year. Like the Pokemon market is so broad. Just randomly earlier in Discord, somebody, I think it was Brandon posted something about, not BB, a different Brandon. He posted something about the 5th anniversary Chinese Pikachu card. You remember that card?
Yeah,
yep. You know how much that card is raw now?
I saw 10s were like $600.
Which initially they came out of the gate. Java sold a couple at like 1,000, I think, 1 or 2 at 1,000. I bought my first ones for like 90. They're like $400 now, raw. Because I remember the first 10s went for 1,000, and then they raced down to like 500. I think even some of my own might have went for $350, $400 for PSA 10.
Yeah.
Now the raw is like $350, $400. The 10s are several hundred. That card is
crazy.
That card's doing really well lately. And I'm not saying that card's.
I can't believe it, because it's such an. I don't like the card. I don't think it looks.
I think it's good. Cool. I think it looks cool. But that's just like, that's not me saying that's undervalued. That's just me saying like that card surprised me. I wouldn't have called it undervalued when it was 100 raw, but it went up a lot. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I'm not going to point out anything is undervalued. I don't feel like anything feels like it needs to, but I feel like broadly we are booming hard right now, and everything is like reasonably priced or very high priced in my opinion. So I'm not overly specking on anything.
Yeah, no.
I guess the biggest exception would be like I'm trying to buy a lot of 151 this week. I'm trying to buy like loose packs. I'm trying to set up for streams certain packs that like I think are going to get away from me eventually. 151 is 2.5 years old, coming up on 3 years old. I think it's just caught some restocks, Targets and Walmarts and whatever that people are talking about today. I want to be getting scalped on a lot of those packs because I think there's only so many waves of those things left, and I want to have 151 for a long time on the streams because I think it's gonna be ripped a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think one booster bundles had to have been restocked recently because I bought I bought probably maybe 20, 30 at a local show, and then a few days later I had someone reach out with a bunch more. So I bought I think I bought 200 from some person, and then even after that I had another person reach out with 100 of them. So they had to have been restocked in a pretty big way recently. I can't imagine people are just holding on to these and selling them now. But I have no idea.
Yeah. Steven says, to my second question, I'm seeing a lot more deals now, not quite at MSRP or below, but getting there.
That is good.
I think that was with respect to the question that we just did, but yeah, it's going to come back around. It's going to come back around. There are so many like businesses being built off just buying retail, scalping for market price, and a lot of those people at some point, like that's not the norm. There will be certain hype releases, there will be certain sets here and there that do that, but generally speaking, like that's not like a business. That's not like a play that is always there. That is atypical to be able to just bought 1,000 units of whatever Walmart's selling at retail and then sell onto the secondary market. That business model will go away eventually.
I cannot wait for that to happen. There's so many, without naming names, there's so many people that I used to be friendly with that started doing that, and charging 85, 90%. It's like, come on. I cannot wait for these people to start saying, okay, I'll sell to you 75, 80%. It's like, no, get lost. I'm not going to buy from you anymore. It's so ridiculous.
You gonna drop any names? Can we fire you up?
No, I'm not gonna drop the name because nope.
I gotta be careful getting myself laughing too much because I still working through this pneumonia. Here we go. Let's see. Nick has pretty much run the gauntlet in terms of business models. Give us a business model tier list. So you've done 99-cent singles on eBay. You've done TCG Player bulk. You've done Troll and Toad, streaming, grading. Like, give us a quick tier list.
Are we talking?
Here we go.
I would say yes, it is BB.
That's hilarious. Oh man.
Streaming number one by far. It's the most fun for me. It's easy compared to like listing stuff. And you're churning through so much stuff compared to normal eBay. And then number two for this is my list. So number two for me is gonna be singles. Just because I love the idea of having like a massive inventory and having just thousands of cards listed on eBay. I for whatever reason, I just love the idea of that being like your one-stop shop for picking up whatever. And then number three will be graded cards. I did not enjoy Troll and Toad Evo. I can't do the whole Excel thing.
That's S tier. That is like the pinnacle. That's the top of my tier list. Me personally, I've done a lot of it too. I've done mass ripping for singles. I've done bulk. I've done a lot of the different things. I like as much crap as I give grading card companies. I'm a gambler. I like grading cards. I like the gamble. I like the rush of getting a return and seeing how wrecked I got. Like I'm up. I've got a 10 against dealer 6, and I double down, and I get a 5, and then the dealer gets a 5 and a 10, and then they 21 against me, and I lose. Like, you're supposed to win 10 against the dealer 6. There's times where I send in super minty cards, and they just 9 everything. They 8 a couple things, and then it makes it feel so good that occasionally in blackjack, dealer's showing an ace, and it's like, oh crap, I don't want insurance. I've got a 6 over here. I'm screwed. I know it's over. Just end it now. And then they end up busting. You end up somehow getting like 19 and you stand and you win the hand. That's what it feels like when you get like those 10s that, oh man, that had a white dot, that had a scratch. And so I like the gamble. I like the gamble that is grading. So I put grading up there fairly high. I like sourcing. I've always liked sourcing more than shipping, fulfilling, selling. So and it makes sense. It makes sense that this would be the answer. Nick's answer is what he's doing now. My answer is what I'm doing now. Like, obviously we're going to pivot our businesses into what we enjoy the most, what we like the most overall. So S tier is what I'm doing now, being the sourcing arm of a streaming operation, and then doing a fair bit of like grading plays in the background. And that's what I'm liking right now the most. So having a good time. And then I think it's fine. Like, I didn't necessarily hate it. It just doesn't pay as well. Like doing bulk, and I used to mass rip. I still like ripping packs. If I had to rip 10,000 packs of a set again, like I used to do with the old MetaZoo sets, and I would enjoy that process. Sort the cards while I'm watching some PokeTube podcast, while I'm watching some playoff hockey. Unfortunately, not the Rangers, but watching whatever. Like, I have a good time with that too. So lots of different things. I will get your question, Joe. I do have it starred, but I'm trying to get through some of the older ones that I have. Pokemage, do you feel like people are playing victim more in this boom? People are crying about scalpers while they go wipe out entire shelves at Target to rip. 2020 felt less whiny to me. What do you think, Nick?
I don't know. I don't remember 2020 that much. I do remember it, but I think people were still complaining back then about nothing being on store shelves. I do think it is worse during this boom because this boom's more focused on modern. But I don't know. I do agree with these people. I do agree with the think of the children aspect, and people shouldn't be wiping out store shelves. It's so I don't know. I can definitely see both parts of it because like nobody should have 200 151 booster bundles. The guy I bought my stuff from,
I was just gonna say, but you'll buy from him. You'll buy from him.
There's no way he should have that, but then I'll go ahead and buy it from him.
What's
so
your pay per pack?
Am I as bad as him? I don't know. I don't know what to think anymore.
You are. You're worse than him, Nicholas. You're worse.
Hey, you're the one over here encouraging people to scalp and sell to you.
Oh,
I'm not over here advertising it.
I am too, but you are too, is what I'm saying. What did you pay per pack, if you don't mind me asking, or do you not want to broadcast that?
It was $9 a pack. And it took a decent bit to get him down to that because he wanted more. But I was able to get him down to $9 a pack, which I think it's a good price because I'm making $2 on them.
That's what I am paying on my buy list this week, and I've sourced a few thousand packs, and almost certainly a decent amount of those are just people scalping online restocks, whatever. And it's like I don't do that personally, but I pay the people who do it. And is that right? Is that wrong? Some people very easily, but from my perspective, from Nick's perspective, it's like, how do we vet where the people get this stuff? And it's in a perfect world, Pokemon would print enough of this stuff and enough of it would flow through the normal channels that we just get it through distribution, right? But that's not the world we're living in. So we're navigating the world that we're in. I don't know what more to say than that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's interesting. As far as to the question, I think it's similar. I remember the video that got made that called out a lot of people, and remember the Frosted Caribou video. I wasn't going to say the name, but I might as well just say the name. The Frosted Caribou video that got made, and that was like a whole thing for several months. And it's like, think of the children. They need their Vivid Voltage, and well, the kids had 5 years to get their Vivid Voltage 5 months after that video aired. So I promise you, think of the children, like your children, 5 months, 10 months, somewhere in there, they'll get their Destined Rivals. They'll get all these sets. And if they don't get all of them, KetchumAllCollectibles is my name. You don't have to catch them all. I'm going to change my name to like, buy what you can afford collectibles. It's
buy
like,
what you can
don't need them all.
The
amount of entitlement that some people have that think they just need all of it. And I know that's like so bad. Like that's such bad salesmanship. I should be really playing into the, hey, come into my stream, catch them all. You got to rip them all personally. You got to go the Iron Man route. Like, who's going to buy singles? Don't buy singles. That's gross. Rip them yourself like a real collector. That's the way to go. The only way to be. But that's what I should be doing, right? If I was a good salesman. But I think it's similar. I think it's just hard to remember 5 years ago. 5 years ago is a long time ago. And I think social media is more ubiquitous. I think society in general has just gotten more TikTok brain, more like certain things that lend itself to feeling like it's stronger now. But overall, I think it's pretty similar, at least personally.
I would agree. I would agree with that. If you have a question, you can start with. I'm going to be right back.
Okay. Yeah, I do have Joe's question that I can get to.
Okay.
Fresh Tat says, whiny police. Okay, so I'm going to take, hold on. We got a lot of questions coming in, but I think I have everything started now. Let me take Joe's question first. So always ask questions. Like I'm not going to be afraid to take a potentially awkward question. I think it's a good question. Don't want this to be an awkward question, but do you have fear that any of your streamers could go solo? You're obviously supplying inventory, but what if they gain their own ways of, oh no, I lost the last, where'd the last thing go? Acquiring inventory. So in this theoretical question, it's like, what if PK and or Ponga ever wanted to go solo? I've actually, to an extent, I feel like I've had this conversation with both of them a little bit, and I would encourage them to do whatever is best for them. If they used streaming for me as some kind of a stepping stone into starting up their own streaming operation, I wouldn't fight it. I feel very good about the relationship that we have, and I compensate them very well. I think it would be a lot of risk on their part to leave the setup that they have, and I feel pretty confident that like I would be able to fill in. I'm not saying PK Ponga, you guys are crushing it. I'm pretty sure you're probably going to listen back. I'm not trying to say that I'm going to replace you, but like if I ever had to, if you guys ever went back, well, if PK ever went back to his old job, if Ponga ever decided to get done, I think I could find people to fill those shoes. Maybe not fill them fully, maybe not fill them in the same way, but I feel like I'm treating them very well, and I feel like it's not a major risk that they're going to want to leave. But that said, like if in the coming years they save a large percentage of what I'm paying them and they're learning the ropes, my entire process is transparent, right? Like I publish my buy prices, I publish my sell prices. They know the spreadsheets, they know all the formulas. They could, if they wanted to, they could go off and they could do their own thing, and there's no way I could stop them. That's in my mind, but I just feel like I could replicate what's going on or close enough to it with other people down the line if I had to. And that's my thoughts on it. Maybe that's not entirely true, but if and when I need to sort that out, I'll sort it out, I guess.
And I think there's a lot more that goes into it too. They know the streaming aspect and what does good, but a major aspect is sourcing, and that's a really, really tough aspect. And then also building a new brand. That there's a lot that goes into that. And you're not going to be making money right out of the gate. You gotta go through months of losing money. I think it'd be a lot tougher than just telling people to go to your stream instead, like go to their stream instead.
And this is a funny interaction that I've had with a few people on some of my streams, in private conversations, in some of my Discord conversations. I've had some people ask me like, Dan, what do you do? It's like Skya runs the TCG player and the eBay, and he rips MetaZoo, and PK and Ponga, they sell the Pokemon on Fanatics Live. Dan, what do you do? And it's like, I understand the question. Like outside looking in, it's like, Dan, I'm actively playing RuneScape. I mean, playing into the meme, I'm clicking once every 7 minutes on this monitor over here, mining a shooting star as we speak, as we're on this podcast. But $4 million of Pokemon cards don't source themselves. Mm-hmm. Like it's very easy to take for granted. Like, oh, Dan doesn't do anything. I'm spending $10,000 a day, every single day on average. And that doesn't happen like by itself. I wish it did. I wish I could click a button and just instantly stock PK and Ponga, but like monitoring how much they have, forecasting what they might need, trying to figure, like when I post my hot buy list every Monday, hours worth of work went into that. I look at the last week, I look at the last month, I look at our current inventory, and I figure like, what do I need? What do we need? And I figure like, and I'm not always doing it perfectly. I remember, Nick, you busted my chops when my hot buy list had Crown Zenith for 6 or whatever, when there were like tons of posts at 550 on Facebook because some big restock had come. But I spend a lot of time like figuring out what I need for the week. And then all the messages, all the payments, all that, I do the consigning, I do the other stuff too. But it's a fair bit of work to source $10,000 a day of Pokemon product. That shouldn't sound surprising, but I think it would surprise some people how much time that takes. But yeah, I'm also not working like I'm probably not working as much as PK either, as many hours in the day. but I'm leveraging multiple things too. And I'm not saying they can't replicate it. They absolutely could. But I'm leveraging like my 11 years in the hobby. I had 5,000 posts on E4, building a name, building a brand, building relationships. And I mean, I drop ship a lot of packs straight to PK, straight to Ponga. It's not that they couldn't figure out who I'm getting a lot of the stuff from, but for them to be able to just entirely remove me out of it would be, one, surprising that they would want to, because it would multiply their risk in a lot of ways. And then two, I don't think they'd have the time / desire to in many ways. But honestly, like, if and when, Ponga PK, if you're listening, if and when you ever feel like you're outgrowing me, I'm not gonna have a hard time with that. Like, I survived Troll and Toad dumping me. I survived eBay Vault dumping me. Like, if you feel that you want to move on into something new, I would want to like help that. I would want to encourage that. I would want to like, how can we work together to make that transition as seamless as possible? Like, me backfilling in with some other streamer. How can I help launch you into whatever you're going to be doing in the future? Like that's the way that I would come from it.
I do not feel the same, Walrus. You better not be listening to this.
That's hilarious. We here at CetchumAllCollectibles treat our independent contractors. We treat our independent contractors very nicely. I truly, they're not my employees. Like, they literally, if they wanted to, and I've told them this, I've talked about this probably live on Pokeflips before, they're free agents. If someone else hits them up and says like, hey, you want to stream for me, they're not under contract. They're not like, they're not locked down at all. I mean, there's like, it would be a pain in my butt. Like, I'd probably have to drive a U-Haul. I'd probably fly out to rent a U-Haul and then drive a U-Haul back. But that, like, that's doable. That could happen if it had to. And I would find other streamers, and I hope it's not the case for either of them anytime soon. But I also don't want to hold them back in any way. Like, that's where I come from. But here we go. We got PK here live in chat. Dan, plus or minus 10. How many times have I told you that you're stuck with me? 50 probably. And I like that. I'm not trying to get rid of PK and or Ponga, but if ever that changes, PK, like, know that I will not. You're a Nick's, PK. Go back and listen to the whole Pokeflips. You're a Nick's friendship might be in jeopardy based off some of what Nick was saying. But I will not stop being friends with you or Ponga if you guys ever say like, and this isn't me trying to shed you. I'm not saying this to try to like, hey, PK, go away. Hey, Ponga, go away. I'm genuinely saying friend to friend, business to business, employer to independent contractor.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it. Dang it.
I will not be offended by you like pivoting into something else. And I know people can take that as like, oh, he's saying that, trying to like, ew, push him away. No, I'm like, did you listen to PK's live last night? I listened to it this morning, and like how happy he is doing what he's doing. I'm all those things too, PK. You're 2 months into it. I'm coming up on 4 years into it. I've loved these past 4 years. I love everything I'm doing right now. I want to do it for as long as possible. So I'm right on board with you, PK. I want to, like, if we can, let's keep doing exactly what we're doing, maybe a little bit bigger, maybe a little bit more efficient, a little bit better in the coming years. But I love what's going on right now. So I'm not trying to change anything. But I'm also confident, too, that, like, I can weather if something big does happen. If Fanatics Live, who knows, something happens with that. And if together, or if we break apart through it, eBay Live, bid, whatnot, whatever it has to be, like, I'm willing to sort it out and figure it out in any case. But some employers can be very, very bad.
There's some employers that move out to their employee, and other employers that stay where they are. That's why I said that. Because literally I would never move out here if it wasn't for Walrus. Literally the only reason I moved out here. So if he says tomorrow I'm quitting, you might not hear from Walrus anymore.
Yeah.
Hopefully nothing happens tomorrow to him, but
I'll say that for PK and I'll say that for Ponga. I'm not going to move out to you, but I'm very happy to continue with what we've been doing for the past 6 months, and I hope it's the first 6 months of a multi-decade venture. I have no, like, 2 years is a long time. A year, 2 years, decades. Now we're getting crazy. I've only been in Pokemon for barely over a decade, so talking multiple decades. Like, I would love for it to be the case that we could continue doing this, but let's take it 6 months at a time. The first 6 months, really good. Let's do more of that. But Joe, like, thank you for asking what could have been taken as an awkward question, but I didn't take it that way at all. I hear that, but it's a fine balance. At what point would Dan not to pay as much based on time spent sourcing, or even vice versa, where they're like, well, I could just do it myself and make X amount more? I think there might have been a comment that I missed in between here and there. Maybe not, though. Oh, so UAP said he pays enough for them not to, Joe. I haven't shared them all the data yet, but Transparent Dan is pretty damn transparent on YouTube. And I'm actually putting together numbers to share with Ponga and PK that YouTube will never see, because they're everything. I'm going to share with them exactly what I'm making and exactly what they're making. And I've had this internal conversation with myself in the past 6 months, and I've had this conversation externally with other people streaming, and I've had this conversation in private conversations with both my streamers to some extent. I'm trying to figure out still what's fair. It's like, I'm doing the sourcing. I have the platform. I have the brand. I have the capital. How much should I make? So I'm posing this to chat right now. I'm posing this to you, Nick, and to chat. So in the relationship I have with PK and Ponga, how much is fair? We make X. So in April, KetchumAllCollectibles on Fanatics Live made X. I know roughly what X was. What % do I get as the sourcer, as the platform, as the brand, as the capital? What % do they get as the vast majority of the work? They're like, I appreciate what they're doing. They're doing the boots on the ground. They're doing the consumer facing. PK streaming 40 hours a week. Ponga streaming 10 hours a week on the side of like a full-time job. And then all the packing and all the stuff on top of that. Is it 50-50? Is it 2/3, 1/3? Which way is it 2/3, 1/3? Like, genuinely, I don't know the answer. I'm trying to figure it out. If you feel comfortable, Nick, what do you think? Like, say we made X, do I get half and they get half, split proportionally? Or I think it's a fantastic, interesting conversation. And I think there's tons of nuance, and I'm going to listen to your answer, and then I'll provide some of my own thoughts.
So without saying numbers, right now, well, when Walrus first came on, up until pretty much this year, he was making as much, maybe a little bit. I think we were about 50-50 in terms of I'm paying him his salary after all of my expenses plus stuff that I'm setting back. So like I said, I bought 10,000 through distribution. I sold 8,000 of that, but I also set 2,000 back. So I counted all 10,000 of that. So I'm not counting what I set back. But after like what I'm profiting every year, we were about 50-50. And I think that was too much, but at the same time, we're also trying to grow the business. So like in the short term, he's making the same amount I'm making roughly, but we're also trying to grow the business. So I think that made sense. I don't know. I think it's somewhere. I think like a third to half, somewhere in that range would be where you want to be at.
For me, I get a third to half, and then they
no. They get a third to half once everything's established and you're happy with your sales numbers. Obviously, right now you're still growing, so I think a half, like they're making what you're making. I think that's fair. But then once you get established, I think a little bit less.
And is there any additional considerations you want to add to that would serve as an upper bound or a lower bound, or that's just it, flatly based on like percentage of profit?
What do you mean?
I guess I'll elaborate on what I mean, because the way that I am starting it, like in October, I'm not going to share the exact numbers, but like I started out that like, hey guys, we're going to do this experiment. I don't know if it's going to make money. They didn't know if it was going to make money, but I'm going to pay you X dollars per stream hour regardless. Like if I'm hemorrhaging money, I will pay you this hourly per stream hour regardless. And I guarantee them that for a month. And then quickly it was like, I'm going to guarantee you it for the first 3 months because it was going well. And I've looked back at February, I've looked back at January, and I know roughly what percentage that is. Super transparent Dan's parent, trademarked even. I'm not going to share exactly what that percentage is right now, but it felt reasonable for February on what percentage was what I made and what percentage was what they made. The way and I'm not doing it percentage based. I'm doing it entirely hourly based. I just back calculated what percentage that worked into. And the biggest things that I think it comes down to, as far as like, I think there's a certain ceiling. Like say it's making 5 times what it's making now. Say it just gets a really silly number. I think there's a certain cap on what would be reasonable for a streamer, because at some point, one thing that I've been offered, and going back to what Joe had asked, is I've actually had a lot of people reach out to me like, Dan, I've literally stolen your buy prices. I've had people steal my hot buy list, make it as their own, post it on Facebook, post it wherever. And they're like, I can't source packs. I can't find packs at what you pay. And it's like, I'm paying 80+% of market, and I'm paying fully insured, and I'm paying Zelle, ACH, friends and family, wire. Like that's a solid price. I can't believe people can't find like anything, but some people can't find anything. I have pretty good networks. I have pretty good connections. And some of them PK and Ponga would be able to get, and because I have people shipped directly to them, they would just know and they would figure it out. But some of them are just tied to my email list, tied to my website, tied to my, like they would be sticky to me. They wouldn't go with someone else. Maybe many of them would though too. But one aspect that I think serves as kind of a ceiling on what's reasonable to pay them is the fact that, in PK, Ponga, I promise I'm not thinking about doing this. I don't want to do this. I promise. Don't get scared. I could just wholesale packs and make a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
I could turn off Fanatics Live, and I could just literally have my website, and I could just sell 1,000-pack lots of Crown and 151 and Stellar, and I buy it 70 to 85%, and I sell it 95 to 100%. Because some people, there are streamers selling thousands of packs a week that are literally buying on TCG Player at 100% of market and streaming for like 50 cents a pack.
Uh-oh. Did you freeze? Or am I frozen? Can you guys hear me? Did Dan freeze, or is it just me? Maybe it's just me. I don't know. No, Dan's frozen. Okay. How's it going? Okay, I'm good. Okay, that's good at least. Oh God, now I'm alone. This is the same thing that happened. We're just gonna sit here in awkward silence until Dan comes back in.
Can you hear me or no?
There we go. Now I can hear you. You froze again.
Yeah, I don't know what just happened. My stuff was not happy. But at what point did I freeze?
I wasn't really listening. No, you were saying how there's these big streamers that buy off a TCG Player for 100% and they'll make 50-cent profit. Now you're muted. You were literally talking, and then all of a sudden you got muted. You're muted still. Oh my goodness, Mr. Technical Difficulties over there. I don't know. Pokey Flips is just falling apart. Try again. Maybe not. There you go. Now we can hear.
Can you I feel like I'm talking through the wrong mic now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're definitely talking through the wrong mic, but we can hear you now.
Now I can't hear you. You got to be kidding me. This is insane.
I'll shoot you a message and I can hear you.
Okay, I hear you now.
Okay. So
No.
I can hear you. You're just on a different mic.
I don't even see my Yeti. My Yeti just left the building. Okay, hold on. My Yeti's back. Can you hear me now through my Yeti?
There you go. Now you're back to normal.
My Yeti, like, it didn't disconnect. I didn't touch it. It just, my Yeti left the building with that whole freak out. I apologize for the technical difficulties. But anyways, my earphones didn't die. My internet went down for a second and all hell broke loose. But anyways, what I was getting at is like, I'm not going to do this. I don't want to do this. I could turn into a wholesale pack operation and I could make like a lot of money. I'm not going to tell exactly what my net margin is on packs right now, but like I buy for 70 to 85%. Most of my, like when I have a pack up for 70%, I don't get a ton of them. When I put them on my hot buy list for 80, 81, 80, 85% at times, I buy a lot of them. I can buy a lot of packs at 80 to 85. So I buy most of my packs at 80 to 85%, and we stream them at like 110. Fanatics fees are 9%. So I'm making 10 to 15% like overall a lot of times on packs after platform fees before paying the streamer. So like between me and the streamers, we're making 10, 15, 20%, depending on the set, depending on the day. 10, 15, 20% of a big number is a pretty big number. But like I could get rid of the 9% platform fee. I could get rid of paying the streamer and I could just sell 5,000 packs a week wholesale. And I've done the math on what it would look like. And I'm again, PK Ponga, I promise I'm not going to do it, but I've done the math on what that could look like. And it would be good. I could, so to some extent, like there's a limit on how much I can pay them. Cause it's like, I can't pay them 90% of the profit because I could make 50% of the total profit streaming. I could just make that wholesale, 50% being made up there, whether it's 50%, whether it's 80%, whether it's 20%. If that makes sense. I know that was a long rant and ramble and it was interrupted by all the technical difficulties, but I hope that makes sense. So, and then on the lower side, like I feel like there's a bare minimum. I have no intent to like compensate them poorly. My company, I hated one thing about my company above all other things. They had just a revolving door on certain departments because they paid them so poorly respective to what they were doing. Like I highly value what PK and Ponga are doing. I realize that they're doing the bulk of the heavy lifting and I want them compensated very well for that. And they're being compensated very well for that. But my former employer used to just use and abuse certain employees, and they thought like they'd talk how they were paying well, this and that. And there was a McDonald's down the road starting wage the same that we had for like some of our chemical operations that I oversaw. It's like, why would people play with these chemicals and wear respirators and do some of the things we're asking them to do when they can just assemble tacos on an assembly line down the road or flip burgers on an assembly line down the road? So I was my old employer, Nick. We got I'm empowering Mr. Walrus. And I if PK and Ponga were ever comfortable, and I have a feeling they wouldn't be, if they were ever comfortable, I would share all of it. I don't care. I like transparency. I feel like they won't want everyone to know exactly how much we're all making together. But I think it's a really interesting conversation. It's the kind of like, it's too hot for YouTube. It's too hot for Patreon. I'm going to have some really cool data. And it's like I'm running a business and what's fair and what's reasonable for me to make versus what the independent contractors are going to make. And I think it's an interesting part to navigate. And I've had the conversation privately. Like some people know, not many, PK and Ponga, but some people know what I pay PK and Ponga. I think they've told a couple people. I think I've told a couple people. And I've talked with other people who have streamers, but that's just that's more than I can share on behalf of other people. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that, to me, that's so much more interesting than CGC versus PSA. That's so much more interesting than whatever latest thing we're talking about, reprints and like the nitty gritty of running a business. I think it's really cool. But
yeah, but at the same time, it doesn't apply to anyone. Like nobody else cares about that except
way
for
too
me,
overly
you,
specific.
other streamers.
Yeah. It's way too overly specific to be meaningful to anyone or anything. But
yeah, exactly.
I do have a handful. Are you still good to go? Generally, we go 4:30, about another 10 minutes. You're still good for a bit?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Let me So this was where, at what point would Dan not to pay as much? So yeah, at some point, I think they could pull me out of it, and they'd be taking on a lot more risk, but also maybe they'd have more upside if the Pokemon market were to grow. It's a very interesting conversation, but I think I'm giving them enough of that pie that it would be kind of crazy of them to go it alone in a lot of ways. But
and
again,
I do think a big part of it is the brand. And your connections and all that stuff. I think they'd have a tough time sourcing. A really tough time sourcing.
I think PK in particular, his biggest thing would be like time. Right now, I think he's most valuable. He said it in his live last night. He said that he has the time, I have the capital, I have the resources, and I think he has a lot of skills that I don't have as far as streaming and keeping the chat going. And I like talking Pokemon, but I can do it like 5 hours a week on a couple of YouTube live streams. Mm-hmm. That man is doing it for 45, 50 hours a week between YouTube and between Fanatics. I can't do that. I don't have that skill set. So he mentioned last night, it's like we're combining the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. And I think that happens with me and PK, Ponga, Skya, all the relationships that I get into business to business. I think the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. So I think me independently would not be as good. Him independently would not be as good. But the putting them together, you get that like exponential factor on it. Mm-hmm. At least that's my thoughts, and I think we're all on the same page in my operation. Mm-hmm. What advice would you give to any aspiring PokeTuber pack opening channel? Have fun. Set a budget. You're probably going to lose money. Set a budget. Have fun. And have fun, because if you don't have fun, if you entirely set your goals based on like getting 10,000 subscribers, getting 100,000 subscribers, it might never happen and you might have had a bad time all along. But if you make the content you enjoy making and you do it within your means with a budget, worst case scenario, you have a good time. Maybe you get a couple people following along. Maybe you make a couple new connections, meet a couple new friends or whatever, and you had a good time. You didn't get to the goals you wanted to potentially, but that's what I would say. Have process and journey-based goals, not outcome-based goals.
Yeah. Deep Pocket Monster posted something good about that yesterday on Instagram, and he said, because someone was asking, I want to start a pack opening channel. Can I do something similar to you? Of should I open it? Should I keep it sealed? And he basically said, just do it. Just start uploading videos. Don't think about it. Just start uploading videos. As you upload videos, take suggestions from your audience and improve on those videos. And what's Alex Ketchum says, don't count likes or comments, count uploads or something like that. I thought it was a good post. I agreed with it. I thought it was good. But yeah, the biggest thing is just get started. And yeah, expect that you're gonna lose money for sure. It's going to be a passion project. It's not going to be something that you retire off of.
Here's a time-sensitive one. He said, current situation.
Oh boy.
Question. If you find $150 in a machine at the casino, are you taking the money and walking away, waiting around for someone to come back, or turning it into the casino? And then he says, am I scummy for doing number one?
No, I'm agreeing with you. The
See, me
person obviously
personally,
didn't know they had the money in there. Or you're on like a secret TV show, like one of the camera shows.
I know you're on a secret TV show, and they're gonna give you $100,000 if you do the right thing. I feel like we talked about this before. This is probably a throwback to like 3 years ago. Remember when we talked about like you buy a booster box and someone ships 2 accidentally? What do you do? Do you message them? And I never did that video. I never did that experiment. But I talked about like I should do for my next 10 orders. I should ship double the stuff, and I should see what they do. But throughout my life, I'm 35 years old. I think most people that are 30 plus years old have been through this multiple times in their life. You've either bought something and gotten the wrong thing, gotten a more valuable thing. You've gotten, well, this day and age, it's less common, but like I've been at a cashier and I've had them give me a 50 too many or a 20 too many, or I've always given it back. I don't think I'm like the beacon of morality and like the most perfect person in the world. But if I find a wallet, I don't care if there's $5 in it, $1,000 in it. I am gonna find the individual. I'm gonna give them back everything that's inside of it. I've read like Reddit posts before.
A wallet. That is such a different scenario.
Well, it's really not. It's someone else's money.
You find $150 on the ground.
Well, this is what people do though. This is what people do. So, I've read on Reddit before a thread where like, what would you do if you found a wallet? A lot of people say you take the cash out and then you give the person the wallet back, or you give it so that they get their credit cards, they get their IDs, they get all that stuff. And you say you found it with no cash in it. You say that basically you take the money and you pretend someone else did it. I wouldn't do that personally.
I wouldn't do that. I would give them take the wallet and give everything back. But if I just find money on the ground, there's no way you're going to find the person. So I'm taking that.
This one's interesting too. It really adds an interesting wrinkle to the moral spectrum because like they were probably going to lose it. They were probably going to lose it to the casino. So some people would feel more justified in taking it because if I didn't take it, they were going to lose it anyways. They thought they lost it anyways. But me personally, I would assuming it's like a slot or whatever, I would cash it out and I would go to like the pit behind the blackjack thing and I'd say like, hey sir, I don't know whose this is, but like
that is
people might not believe me, but like it's not my money. It's not my money. I don't care if they were gonna lose it. I don't care. And some people like they try to justify things like, oh, they were gonna lose it, so I'll take it. Some people justify, oh, it's Walmart. They're a mega corporation. I'm gonna buy a pack of cards and I'm gonna return empty stuff to Walmart because who cares? Screw the Walton family. They're uber billionaires. I don't think theft in any circumstance is justifiable. And even though a lot of people will justify that, oh, it's not theft, I found money. If you have a reasonable means to get the money back to who it rightfully belongs to, in a casino, I promise you, there's enough cameras. They're gonna find whose money that is. So it's very different. Now, if I'm at a sporting event and I see $50 bill on the ground, I'm gonna take the $50 bill. If I saw it fall out of someone's pocket, I'll grab it. I'll run up to them. I'll give it to them. But if it's mystery $50, you can't get that back to the rightful owner. What are you gonna do? Like, hey, we found a $50 bill on the ground. Oh yeah, that one was mine. It's like, what were the serial numbers? That wasn't yours. Like, in certain instances, when there's no shot at finding the true owner, I'm with you. I'd take the money. But like in this circumstance, all the cameras, all the everything, it's probably tied to someone's player's card. I would get the person their money back.
No.
Nick wouldn't. Monster.
No,
Nick leaves cards in a parking lot. Not only that, Nick will leave that same person he stole $150 from. He'll leave his cart next to them in the parking lot at the grocery store. The wind will blow and it'll do $2,000 worth of damage to their car. So on top of the $150, that's how evil Nick is.
Do you honestly think you go up to the person at the casino, hey, I found this ticket, what was in this machine? Do you honestly think that person is gonna, let me figure out whose money this is? Let's CIA this and track down that person. Or are they just gonna, thanks, right into their pocket for later on?
I don't know. At that point, it's like I don't even believe in, I'm not like a very religious person. I don't believe in karma. I don't believe in any of that stuff. I would do what I deem to be the right thing. Again, if it's 150 cash in a casino in a busy spot, same thing applies. There's cameras, but like, I think it's way less likely that they're going to be able to find whose the cash was, whose pocket it fell out of. So like cash is different. But being a digital thing in a machine with all the things they track, like I think there's a decent shot. They click a couple buttons and oh yeah, Old School Pokemon's player's card was in that machine, and he was the one whose money it was. Like maybe I'm wrong there, but like that's my initial take. That's what I'd do.
That's where we disagree. That's where we disagree. No.
And see, I'm the evil person who sells at market, and Nick is the guy who sells at MSRP. So Nick will sell you stuff at MSRP, and he'll steal your money out of the slot machine. I'll sell you at market, but I'll give you your money back. So it's like, who's the better person? It's not black and white. It's not clear. It's all shades of gray. Interesting conversation. And the thing is, like, if I'm out with my buddies and if I see Fat Belly, because another question he asked, is he scummy for it? I don't think you're scummy for it. Like, being realistic, they were probably going to lose the money anyway. I wouldn't keep it, but I don't like blame you for it. That said, I wouldn't leave my shopping cart in a parking lot. Nick is scummy for that. I will say that. No on the fence, hopping off the fence, black and white. Nick is bad for leaving carts in a parking lot. So
I will say I can't do that anymore because
I was going to say, because you're
packed.
And you're afraid you're gonna get shot because you're in Chicago. We went over that like like 3 months ago. We went over that in PokeFlip. So I need to stop pushing you on that now. For fear of getting shot, Nick no longer leaves his cart in a parking lot because he lives in Chicago. So that's hilarious. Walrus forgets $12 on the couch. Nick, nah, I haven't seen it. You sure it was this couch? That's hilarious. Couple more questions. Appreciate you, Fat Belly, with the nice moral dilemma there. That was a fun little exercise. Oh yeah, and Matt had shared he thinks 60% should go to the employees, independent contractors. Matt, be careful of your wording.
Really?
And then 40% to the employer. So I think it's fascinating how and why people will come up with the numbers they come up with and what justifications they'll give behind it. Like I think most business owners, if you polled 1,000 people, most business owners with the capital at risk, with the brand they built over the past decade, I think they disproportionately say a higher percentage. And I think most people who are employees, most people who are the streamers and not I think they'd be more likely to say like a higher number, right? I haven't done a scientific study, but I feel like pretty confident that would be the outcome of a broad-based poll like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I've heard everything from, I've asked several people in the space. I've actually asked people entirely out of the space. Like I've asked friends and family members who knew nothing about Pokemon. I've told them what I'm doing. So some are business owners, some are not. And I've said like, hey, this is the setup. And some people are like, Dan, what do you do all day? They're doing all the work. You're doing nothing. Same thing. Some people joke with me here, but it's like, I've had people tell me as low as, Dan, you should get 20%. They should get 80%. And I've had it flipped on its head where, Dan, you should get 80% and they should get 20%. So I've never had anybody
actual numbers.
What?
Like the people that you're talking to that say that PK and Ponga should be making more. Do they know the actual numbers?
Nobody does. No, I think Ponga might be the only one. I might have alluded to it a little bit with PK as well, but I've had conversations with PK and Ponga together, but I also have a lot of conversations with them independently. Like literally just yesterday, I was having a conversation with Ponga, and I told him the rough split. For February, and I asked him, I'm like, do you think that's reasonable? It's like, I'm genuinely asking because I don't entirely know. And I gave him all the same nuance. I gave him all the same context around why I think what I think. And so I haven't finished getting the numbers together. But PK, if you're still here, I'm going to get the numbers for January, February, March, and April. PK, Ponga, and I are going to have a call in the next couple weeks. We're going to review it as a team. And we're gonna say, like, this is what it was. Is that fair? Is that fine? Is that reasonable? Are we happy with everything? And should we adjust or should we not? And I genuinely don't know the proper answers. Well, that's the thing. There's no finite fixed answer, but I want them to feel treated fairly and compensated well for their time. And I want the same for me. Like, I feel like I'm doing a lot here too, and I want to be compensated well for my time. But I think it's really interesting to navigate through. But as I said, like I've asked over 10 people, probably some people who know, some people who don't know, like, but nobody knows the split. I vaguely describe, and how valuable is it if I talk to my uncle and I say like, hey, Uncle Ron, like this is what I'm doing with a couple guys, and what do you think is reasonable? He's a contractor and he has employees, and it's funny, I'm using one of my random uncles who I didn't even have this conversation with, but like I've asked some people and they're like everywhere from 20-80 in both directions. So like a wide array of like, you should get 20% Dan to you should get 80% Dan. That's a big range. And I will say it's in that range.
I wonder. Oh, thanks. It's in that range. Jeez,
it's between 20 and 80% is what I'm getting.
I wonder, like, if you meant like the people you've told how much you're paying Ponga and PK, like their hourly salary or their hourly rate. The people that you've told, have any of them ever said, "Oh, you're paying them. You're only paying them that. You should be paying them so much more." I feel like if you bring that number to those people who say they should be making such a percentage, like you're not paying them a high enough percent. If you tell them I'm paying them
if 10%,
I feel like 10%,
yeah. If 10% was $200 an hour,
yeah, exactly.
That would be relevant, and that's another interesting angle of like, I won't share actual numbers here, but like if I was paying them 90% of wages, like if I told somebody I'm paying them $10 per stream hour, they'd be like, Dan, what the hell's wrong with you? You're a monster. You're evil. And they would be right. But then if I told them in the next breath, I'm paying them 100% of what we're making, I'm making no money. It's like, oh, that's different. That's like, Dan, you suck at what you're doing, for one. But that's interesting context too. That's very interesting context of like, and I can't share enough. I feel like I'm teasing people some amount with some of this, but like they're making a good hourly wage. They're making a good percentage. I feel like everything's fair and fine. If they're up for it, I'd have a me PK Ponga call. We do the KetchumAllCollectibles Q1 earnings call live on YouTube, but I don't think they're going to go for that. I don't think they're going to go for that. If it were a public company, which it's never going to be, that's how they work. Like if you want to see for Apple, you can do that. Like I'm not like an individual stock picker, and I don't know when I'll be, if ever, but you can literally do that with Coca-Cola. You can literally do that with Procter & Gamble. You can literally do that with Nintendo. Hasbro, you can literally look at all the money they spend, all the money they make. That is how public corporations work. It's actually really interesting.
Through this like 1,000-page document, it's not like you're not getting any information out of that.
It's really cool, actually. And then I follow some different YouTubers.
It's cool to you. To me, it's like, who cares?
But like this is how weird I am. I'll walk into a McDonald's to go get my Egg McMuffin, and I'll just start like I'll like sit there waiting for my McMuffin. I place my order at the portal in the app, and I wait. And it's like there's 2 people at the drive-thru, and there's 2 people over there. There's 1 person taking a smoke break out back. I start doing the math. I'm like, minimum wage in New York is $15 an hour. McDonald's has to simultaneously pay the lease for this building. They need to buy all the food costs. They need to do the maintenance for the building. They need to pay 5 times $20 an hour average wage. They need to make $100 an hour to pay the salaries, $100 an hour for the overhead probably. They need to run how much money an hour through the cash register every hour to make this place stay afloat. And I do it when I walk into a pizzeria, and I do it when I walk into a Napa parts store, and I do it when I walk into any kind of a business. And some of them, it blows my mind. But actually, you can go, if you walk into your local pizza shop, you don't know the numbers. You can't, because they're not publicly traded, right? But if you walk into your local Papa John's, they're publicly traded. And you can go to their filing, their K1 or whatever, and you can actually see like they did this much in sales and they have this many stores. So you can do the math and you can divide out. Like, I don't do that personally myself, but there are YouTube channels that will like dissect and they'll say like, here's the average Walmart and here's the average amount of inventory they have. Here's the average amount of sales they have, wages. To me, it's fascinating to see how other businesses break down. It's so cool to me. Like, that's the way my brain works. Julia says she thinks about them too. Sometimes I walk into a business and it's like, how is this place open? They've been here my whole life. And how? Like, every time I walk in, it's crickets. There's 2 people. I'm the only one picking anything up. It's like, how does this place operate? And all the same things apply to like a streaming operation. And it's private, right? There's more private businesses in the world than public businesses. But
I also think it's different because you can have those, like McDonald's, you can have those locations that there's nobody inside, and they're able to stay in business because it's a corporation. And while that location loses, they just make it up with the other locations.
But anyways, we are at 4:40. I'll try to wrap up soon. To me, this stuff like fascinates me.
Yes, I do have to get ready for tonight. I do have to get ready for tonight.
We might be putting some people to sleep too. We being primarily me. So Stephen Kassoon says a recession is seemingly upon us. How do you think it'll affect the hobby? If we go into an actual full-fledged broad recession, it will harm the hobby overall. If people get fired from their jobs and have less money, they will buy less Pokemon. I think a lot of people think Pokemon's entirely recession-proof. I think a lot of people think it will have no implications on a hobby whatsoever. But if we have a very deep recession, depression, it won't be good for the hobby. That's my quick thoughts, trying to wrap up.
I would agree. I think it's more recession proof than like I would say like going out to eat, going to bars, stuff like that. I think it'll do better than that type of stuff.
And then Nostalgia Collectibles says, I'm late to the party, so please dismiss if it's been talked about. We did talk about our Destined. I was saying my Destined was like 10% less than my Journey, but I looked quickly live and it's like 20-25% less through one distro, and then maybe only 5 or 10% less through the other. But effectively, I'm gonna have to follow up on this. I guess I'll make a note to follow up on it. What were my actual allocations? Just get one document together to put them all in one place. But I'm more like 20% less than Journey, I think. 15 to 20% less than Journey.
That makes me feel better because that's what mine is.
Yeah, it's not amazing. And we had people anecdotally share. There was somebody in chat that was like 10% higher on Destined than Journey. But
yeah,
there's going to be wide variance around that stuff.
That is wild.
Yep. But context matters. Are they a growing account? Are they a new account? Are they an old account? Like, it's always going to, based on the rep, just like graders. So some days your card's going to be a 9. Some days your card's going to be a 10. Maybe your rep just had divorce papers filed with them by their spouse. And maybe that whole rep's account for Destined Rivals is down 20% because they're not too happy about their impending divorce. Or maybe they just, maybe they just, their team just won their playoff series. Maybe they're a Knicks fan. Knicks just closed out. I believe it was the Grizzlies last night. So, hey, Dan, yeah, you're getting 20% extra Destined. All my reps. I'm going to fight for my accounts today because the Knicks won last night. Like, kind of jokingly, but kind of seriously as well. There are studies out there about like judges doing sentencing and stuff. And before lunch, when they're hungry, sentences are generally harsher than after lunch, which is insane. Because like the implications of that are much higher than the implications of your allocation for Pokemon. Please answer Timmy's question before you go. Is there a Timmy in here? Where's Timmy?
Yeah. Should he buy PC Prismatic or regular Prismatic? Or is there a better sealed play? If you're going for either of those two, I would say PC over regular. That's what I'm going to go.
I would say there's no called strikes. You don't have to swing. So I would not swing here. I would not buy either personally.
Ooh.
I would save that cash for better opportunities. So shout out to my boy Warren Buffett. There are no called strikes in investing. I would sit on the cash pile and wait for a better play. Is that answer better? Would you do that too, Nick? If that can be a cheat option?
If you can cheat and say this, then I'd agree with you. If we're picking one, I'm going PC.
If you have to pick one, oh God, I would lean PC ETB, but not strongly. I don't know. 6 month time frame, I would lean PC ETB. 6 year time frame, I would lean regular ETB. So there's like max level nuance. I gave you 3 different answers.
There we go.
Different time frames.
There we go.
in true Dan fashion. But I appreciate everyone being here. I think it was a fun one as always. Thanks, Nick, for continuing to do this. We are in our 5th year of PokeFlips. That is wild.
That is crazy. That is crazy.
Absolutely insane. But anything to shout out? You got a stream tonight? What are you running? Destined or
no, we'll do auctions. Destined. Where am I getting destined?
Glory of Team Rocket. I'm talking about. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Auctions, back ripping, a little bit of everything tonight. Should be a fun time. Stop on by 9 p.m. Eastern.
And I will not be live, but PK will be live tonight. He is live 5 nights a week. Ponga's live 2 nights a week. And if you're interested in Metazoo has a new set out, base set. It is relaunched. Sky will be live tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern. So he's doing that like every Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern moving ahead, I believe. I think he has a regional that he's doing in like mid-May. So he's going to miss one of the Saturdays. Maybe he'll do it Sunday that week. Maybe he'll just skip it. I don't know. But he's his own man. He's an independent contractor. I cannot govern entirely his schedule. So we'll see there. But or 2 p.m. Eastern. Did I say 12?
Yeah,
2 p.m.
I
Eastern.
was going to say that sounds late or early.
It's 2 p.m. Central. He's or Mountain time. Mountain time. Yeah, he's Mountain time. So it's 12 p.m.
So it's 12
Mountain time. It's 2 p.m. Eastern. I'm terrible with time zones. But yeah, thank you everyone for hanging out. Have a great weekend. It was a great chat as always.
See you later. Appreciate you guys.